Thanksgiving game here at Veterans Memorial Field between the North Quincy Red Raiders and the Quincy Presidents. Earlier, I got to talk to both coaches, and we're just about ready for the kickoff, so I want to get into those interviews right away. And first interview is head coach Ken McPhee of the North Quincy Red Raiders. You're 9-0 this year. You got Super Bowl. You got a lot of things on your mind, and the kids got to get up for next week as well as this week. Is their mind on this game too?
Michael, this has been the most focused group of kids I've ever coached. They know what they have to do. They know what they have to lose. If they don't win this one, it's bragging rights for the city for a year and for a lot longer than that, because it's an undefeated team. They have to finish this off, and they know that. And they want an undefeated season first. The Super Bowl is an extra. Right now, we just want to go undefeated. And you can't do that unless you get by Quincy, and that's going to be a very tough game today because Quincy's out there ready to go.
Now, in practices and stuff, has the attitude's been shown that way during the week?
These kids are very businesslike. They know what they have to do at practice. We get it done and we get off the field. We don't spend a lot of time going over and over and over and over things that we're doing well. So we've had our practices cut a little short this week just to get some fresh legs. We wanted them ready to go for today. Today's a very important game for these seniors. This is something that they'll remember for the rest of their lives, and they're ready to go.
Now, this field was in good condition all week long, but it's starting to rain now. You have a big running game. Will that affect it at all?
Of course it will. We've got small running backs that use their quickness and speed to succeed, and anytime you have that kind of a condition, it hurts you. But both teams have the same conditions, and it does favor a bigger, stronger team, and they are a little bit bigger and stronger, I would say. But listen, footballs will be played in all weather. We're ready to go. They're ready to go. It's time to get this thing on.
Now, health-wise, how's everybody doing? Everybody ready?
Yeah, we're pretty healthy. We're as healthy as we've ever been at this time of the season. We've never complained about injuries. These kids have never done that, and we don't have many right now. We've got a couple of dings here or there, but they'll rise above it.
Now, in the passing department, will you be throwing the ball in this?
Absolutely. That's what got us here. People. If we had to rely solely on our running game, I think people could shut us down. But we have that option where we can throw the ball, and our receivers have done a nice job. And Lam Higgins, you've seen what he's done all season. So, yeah, you have to throw the ball. It's rain. I think that is an advantage for the offense when you're throwing the ball. So, yeah, we're going to throw.
Well, we wish you good luck in this game, and wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week at the Super Bowl.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Okay, Ken. Ken McPhee, head coach of the North Quincy Red Raiders. We're going to move this right along. I want to thank Kenny for that interview. Right now, we're going to go into that interview with the Quincy president coach, head coach, that's Jack Raymer. All right, Jackie, we're coming to the 60th annual Thanksgiving game here at Veterans Memorial Field. You've had a so-so season, but this is a bragging rights for the city. How's the kids up for this?
Well, obviously the kids are ready for it. It's our season, although North goes on. I think they're probably looking at it the same way. The city championship is a big thing to everybody, and our kids, this will make our season. The old cliche, this is our Super Bowl, but we've been inconsistent this year. I just hope that if we come out and don't hurt ourselves, that we'll be able to give these guys a battle. I feel confident about that.
Now, how's health on your side? Is everybody all ready for this game?
Everybody's healthy on Thanksgiving. There's no injury excuses, no nothing. There's no excuses, no officials, no nothing. You got to execute. If you fumble, you're in trouble. If you, this is just a game you can't make any mistakes in. And the games that we've done well in.
Now, this should be pretty good for your backs, because you got some big backs that can run in this. It's going to be pretty muddy out there.
Well, yeah, David Bogan's a strong runner, but it's really not good for any backs, to be honest with you. It's going to be rough out in the middle there, but we feel confident. We've got to mix it up, throwing the ball a little bit. The receivers have the advantage today, so maybe you'll see more throwing than you want, but you never know in this game. You always pull something out of the fire.
Well, at halftime, we hope to get back to you and talk to you and tell you, see what's happening after the first half. We want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
You too,
we know we want to get at the guys. Thank you. Okay. Jack Raymer, head coach of the Quincy Presidents. I want to thank both coaches, Jackie and Kenny. A couple of quick tidbits here in this game. This is the 60th game of this Thanksgiving festivities. Quincy has won 29 of them, North Quincy 25. 5 have been in ties, and in those ties, 4 of them have been scoreless. The points for and points against, North Quincy 168 points, that's 19.8 per game. Points against 68, that's 7.5 per game. Big standout on defense is Dave Reinhardt. He has 22 sacks this year. And for Quincy's side, points for 108, that's 12 points per game. Points against 143, that's 15.8. And Debona has 44 points scoring on the offense, as well as Higgins 33 on the offense. 2 shutouts for North Quincy, and Quincy has been shut out twice this year. A couple of quick notes here. North Quincy JV team 22-20 over the JVs of Quincy, and the Quincy freshmen on a great game by Terry Bowman. That's a man to recognize in the next few years. He had 5 touchdowns that he was in on. The key on that game was 5 turnovers, which they turned into touchdowns. 36-0, Quincy over North Quincy. Also want to congratulate the girls volleyball team, 21-0, Division I champs again, back-to-back over New Bedford. That was a 3-1 game, 15-4, 12-15, 15-10, and 16-14 to get the win. And hopefully Continental Cable will bring you next week's Super Bowl game between North Quincy Red Raiders and whoever. We'll find out later on today. We're going to turn it over to the voice of North Quincy and Quincy, Charlie Ross. We'll be back at halftime.
If we don't hurt ourselves, so the games that we've lost this year, we've hurt ourselves, we've hurt, and if we play like we're capable of playing, it's not one play, one person, the run, the pass. We've just got to play our best football, and if we do that, we should be in pretty good shape.
Everybody healthy?
Everybody's as healthy as they're going to be. I told Stevie for now we'll have someone cut his turkey later with both shoulders, but everybody is healthy, and nobody's hurt on Turkey Day.
Happy Thanksgiving, Jack, and good luck to the Quincy presidents.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to you and Tom and WJDA and everybody else, and we'll see you after the game.
And that's Jack Raymer, the head coach of Quincy High. So we've done our fair share here. We've gotten both head coaches on. Right now down in the field, Mayor Jim Sheets, School Superintendent Gene Cretin, and the principals of the 2 high schools, Lloyd Hill of Quincy and Peter Chisholm from North Quincy, just making presentations to the homecoming queens out there as well. Bill Walker, the new athletic director for the Quincy Public Schools, he has been a very nervous man around this ballpark this morning. He has seen to every detail and has done a very fine job in his first Quincy-North Quincy game, as the fans still coming in, and it is a great day. I don't care if it's raining or not. It's a lot warmer than I'm sure some Thanksgiving Day games that you either played in or coached or broadcast with me, Tom.
Well, certainly have, Charlie. I've seen some days up here, a couple of games where the snow was piled up about 5 feet deep on the sidelines, and the field was ice and mud and real cold weather. So, no matter what it is, unless it's really snowed in or it's practically a flood, this game goes on, and the ceremonies here, and I'd say to the people, it isn't raining too hard, and it's as you said, it's fairly warm. So if you dress warm and bring something to cover your head up and a cushion to sit on, it's going to be fairly enjoyable sitting there, and I think there's going to be plenty of excitement for everybody to see out here. So maybe you won't be sitting down too much anyway.
And the 2 bands are going to come to the middle of the field. We'll have our national anthem coming up in just a moment. It's a minute after 10 o'clock here at AM Radio 1300 WJDA, Quincy, Massachusetts. We'll take a 30-second timeout and then be back with the kickoff. Let's run down all the starters or all the players indicated as starters. For North Quincy, the wide receivers, Pat Shea, Dan Duncan, Tony Licciardi. Tight ends, Brian Raftery and Dave Reinhardt. The tackles, Pete Licciardi, Mike Linane, Dave Pacino, Justin Dilks, the guards, Nick Mastrogiacomo, the center, Liam Higgins, the quarterback, Sean Nee, the tailback, along with Sean Skane, Mark Sinclair, and Josh Gott, the fullbacks. For North Quincy defensively, the ends, Dave Reinhardt, Eric Delory, Mike Linane, Justin Dilks, Bill Scootle, and Peter Fitzpatrick will split the tackle duties at the nose. Dave Pacino, linebackers, Brian Raftery and Sean Halpin. Defensive backs, Pat Shea, Sean Skane, Nathan Gott, Sean Herron, Mark Sinclair, and Keith Lentini. For Quincy, their lineups both ways. On offense, Sean McArdle, the tight end, Mike Feely at one tackle. The other, Dwayne Holmes, Mike Cavanaugh, and Steve Fernald, the guards. Mark Nutley, the center. Robbie Kane and Brian Clifford will be wide receiver and wingback, respectively. Mike Bartlett, the quarterback. Noel DeMona, the tailback. Dave Bogan, the fullback. On defense, Dan Morrill and Paul Caleri are the ends. The tackles, Dwayne Holmes and Mike Feely. Nose guard, Jason Bennett and John Green. Linebackers, Mike Cavanaugh, Dave Bogan, and Ashley Davis. Defensive backs, Noel DeMona, Mike Bartlett, Robbie Kane. The safeties, Mike Elder and Steve Provost. So I think we've got everybody's name in there. Of course, some of those will not start. It'll be up to the coach, but I think all of those players will see some action at some point or another. The two bands have gone to the 50-yard line, and North Quincy, the home team, so they were the last band to go out. They have gone to the 50-yard line, and our man John Nicholson will be down on the field, and he will get the microphone ready and bring us our national anthem, and following that, it'll be time for the coin toss. Now we pause here at North Quincy and Quincy for our national anthem. And the color guard, ROTC color guard coming out right now to the 50-yard line, so we will have our national anthem from the combined bands of Quincy and North Quincy High School. Our national anthem from the combined bands of Quincy and North Quincy High School.
Charlie, before we start, I know we'd like to dedicate this game today to Charlie Sagetti, who passed away last month, a Hall of Famer here who played for Quincy High School in the late 40s, an all-league player and all-scholastic lieutenant in the Quincy Fire Department. We'll certainly miss Charlie out here today, but I know somewhere he's watching this game, so we're doing this game for Charlie today. We'll long remember him.
All right, and the bands are marching off the field, and the referee is Bruce Sutcliffe. Bruce Sutcliffe, the referee. The umpire, Steve Lynch. William Jennings, the linesman. Field judge, John Conley, and I believe it's Hank Conroy. Next door in the booth, operating the official clock. 10-minute quarters will be played here at the stadium today as the rain is coming down. The flag on the far side not really blowing in either direction, as the captains go out to the middle of the field, and John Nicholson is out there, and let's listen in to the coin toss.
All right, Charlie, thank you. We will turn it right over to referee Bruce Sutcliffe, who will conduct the toss of the coin with the co-captains from North and from Quincy.
Okay, gentlemen, why don't you introduce yourselves, please, and shake hands.
And the co-captains now are introducing themselves to each other, shaking hands, and they're the best of friends now, but they're going to go at it in a couple of minutes.
Let me introduce introduce my fellow officials for today's game. The gentleman to my right is Mr. Lynch. He will be the umpire. If at any point during the game there's a question as to the legality of your equipment, you're to direct that question to Mr. Lynch, please. The gentleman on my left is Mr. Conley. He's the field judge, and he will be on the North Quincy side of the field. I might remind you that that's an official clock we have today. There'll be no warning at the end of the second and fourth periods, okay? The gentleman to my right is Mr. Jennings, who's the linesman. He will be on the Quincy side of the field. We'd appreciate your cooperation in keeping your teammates in back of the stick so we can operate the chain gang. My name is Mr. Sutcliffe, and I'm your referee. Now, who's going to do the talking for white? 22, you are. We have a head. We have a tail. You're the visiting team. You call it in the air. If I drop it, we'll toss it again. You call it. You call it a tail? It is a tail. You have won the toss. You want to defer to the second half?
All right, the co-captain, Robbie Kane, called it, and he got it, and they have deferred to the second half, Charlie.
So they will kick off to the North Quincy Red Raiders. So already a little bit of a psych job going on. So North Quincy will defend the north goal. The goal to our left. Quincy will be kicking off. And we are just about set for high school football here on AM 1300 WJDA Quincy. Tom, quickly before kickoff, what does each team have to do for Quincy to win and for North?
Well, I think they just got to get their own game going, play good defense, get a good steady roll offensively, both teams, not fumble the football. That's a big thing today. You can't drop the football, and you got to get your kicking game in gear. I think kicking is going to be important with the condition of this field. So no fumbles, good kicking game. Get the ball, get it under control, get your offense going, and that's what I think both teams are going to look for. And they're going to be. I think it'll be pretty conservative, out here. The passing game, I don't know. I think a lot of it might be taken away with the weather conditions, but I think they'll try to start off with.
Quincy, the visiting team, they are in their road uniforms, white jerseys with blue pants with the stripe down the side, blue numerals, blue helmets. North predominantly black with white numbers and some red trim along the shoulder pads and the stripe along the side. The black helmet with an arrow and NQ. Quincy with the Q on their helmets. So we'll have the kickoff. Noel DeBona will kick it to either Tony Licciardi or Pat Shea, who stand at their own 5-yard line. North defending the north goal, the goal to our left here at the stadium as the rain comes down straight on. And we will see. This could be, in talking to Coach Jack Raymer, he felt that this type of day would be an advantage for Quincy with their strong running game with DeBona in the backfield.
Well, if Quincy can get a hold of football and control it with their big backs, as I said before, Charlie, but what hit Quincy all year is penalties. They got to stop these foolish penalties. They can't afford it in this game.
DeBona kicks it off high end over, and Shea at his own 9. Trying to get some room. 15, 20 down the right side. 25 on his feet to the 30. 35, and Pat Shea is dragged down at the 39-yard line as Shea with a good return for the North Quincy Red Raiders. Captain Mike Cavanaugh on the stop for the Quincy Presidents, and the young man who went out to pick up the kicking tee for Quincy slipped right in the middle of the field and took a header right down. So right between the yard markers, between the 30s, it's going to be very, very slick as North comes out. Higgins, the quarterback, has his backs behind him in an I formation. Dave Reinhardt going in motion. Higgins goes back to pass. Now runs out of the pocket, being chased by a couple of Quincy players, turns the corner, 30, 35, 40, 45, and he runs out of bounds at about the 50-yard line, close to first down yardage. They say he went down at about the 48 and a half, so Liam Higgins calling his own number, but he had a couple of white jerseys chasing him. Dan Morrill for 1, but Higgins getting around his end for 9.5 yards, and it will be second down and short.
Well, he came to his right, Charlie, looking for receivers over on this right side underneath our booth here, but he couldn't find anybody open, so he reversed his field. He was chased down by 2 guys, and then Lime has great speed. He can really run, so he outran those 2 men to get that yardage all by himself.
Sean Nee, the tailback, behind Higgins, wing to the left. Nee gets the handoff, 50, breaks outside to the 45 and down to the 44-yard line goes Sean Nee. What a story he has been this year, as North Quincy suffering some injuries in their running back position, and Sean Nee, a sophomore, came up and has done the job and pretty much won himself a starting position. And when you're a sophomore, I guess you kind of fight for your life to stay off the JV team, and he made it to the varsity and has done well.
He's something, boy. If he gets loose today, he can cause a lot of trouble.
It is first down for North Quincy at the Quincy 44-yard line. Now just one man in the backfield. 3 wide receivers are to the right. The give is to Mark Sinclair. Sinclair up the middle inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line, right up the middle of the Quincy line. So another big run for the North Quincy Red Raiders.
Charlie, I think what we might have today is what we call a hash mark day. We're going to both North Quincy is on the far hash marks over there, and that's where the grass is. The middle of the field from the 30 to the 35 is pretty muddy. So I think what you're going to see is both teams trying to work these sidelines where the good footing is. I don't know if they're going to go out in that middle too much because it's awful treacherous out there. So I think now that North is down where they can go both sides, but in the middle they'll go to hash marks.
Nee, the lone man in the backfield behind Higgins. Again, 3 receivers. Reinhardt goes in motion from right to left. Pitch going to Nee, trying to turn the corner, in trouble at the line of scrimmage and dragged down as Ashley Davis came up to bring down Sean Nee on the pitch. And it will be third down, loss of 2 for the Red Raiders.
Well, as you see, they ran the last 3 plays to the short side of the field, towards the sidelines, and that's what they want to do, keep it in that dry area. But of course, that limits your offense to that side of the field or to the other side with just approximately 17, 18 yards to work on, instead of the whole 52 yards of the width of the field.
Shea, Licciardi, and Reinhardt all go out to the right. Sinclair, the one back behind Higgins. Quincy with a 7-man line. Higgins in trouble. He breaks away from 1, but is sacked as Dave Bogan came in originally to almost take him down, but the man that put him on the turf was Mike Feely. So a sack, and it will be 4th down, and North Quincy will be forced to punt it away.
Well, line couldn't even get back. He took 3 steps, and he was hit. As you say, Bogan came right in over the center. Nobody picked him up, and he was right in Higgins' face before he could even get his arm out. So here we are now in a 4th down situation.
Kane and DeBona go back. Higgins at his own 45-yard line, awaiting the snap. Snaps can be an adventure today. This one is okay. He gets it away, end over end. Kane watches it bounce at the 15, and it's surrounded by black jerseys at the 16. So that's where North will give the ball to Quincy at the 16. 7:04 to go. First quarter scoreless. Back in 30 seconds. First down, hands it off to Noel DeBona to Dave Bogan, and Bogan getting maybe a yard to the 17-yard line, taken down there, and it will be 2nd down for the Quincy Presidents.
Well, Quincy threw 2 wideouts to the wide side of the field and lined up in a divide backfield, and Bogan came left on a short counter, step trap counter, but he didn't pick anything up. That North Quincy defensive line is something, I'll tell you.
Kane is in the backfield. DeBona goes out wide to the right. The pitch to Kane as he's trying to turn the corner. He's in trouble and is going to be taken down at about the 5-yard line. Dave Reinhardt came busting through, and let's see where they're going to mark him down, as Kane was in trouble the minute he got the ball, as he could not turn the corner. There were 4 black jerseys all looking for number 22. They mark it at the 9-yard line, so it's a loss of 8, and it will be 3rd down and 18 now for the Quincy Presidents at their own 9.
Well, if Quincy wants to run much, they better run away from Reinhardt because he's a half a football team in himself, and he was there waiting for that end run.
On third down, I with a slot. Bartlett, now they're going to quick kick it out. Debona, a terrible kick. High, but not very deep. It's going to bounce at the 25, take a Quincy bounce over the 30, and die at the 34-yard line. So Quincy quick kicks, but North Quincy with excellent field position, and they'll take over 1st and 10. We'll be back in 30 seconds. That could be costly.
Oh, yeah.
What an awful kick.
Yeah.
Jeez. Shawnee for about 3 yards going left side. It'll be 2nd down for the Red Raiders. The ball in Quincy territory at the 33-yard line. So the quick kick by Quincy, not a good punt by Debona as it went high in the air and didn't get too much of a roll. So North Quincy in business in pretty good field position.
They sure are.
Higgins comes out. He has the 3 receivers again to the right. Shea, Licciardi, and Reinhardt. Sinclair, lone man in the backfield. Some movement in the Quincy line. Pass to Reinhardt, and they blow the play dead as Reinhardt caught the ball over the middle. A break for Quincy because Reinhardt was all alone.
Boy.
And it's going to come back as the call is procedure against North Quincy. So Quincy cutting a break, and I'm sure Jack Raymer enjoys that because he was able to get a free play to see what North was going to do.
Well, it was certainly a great call for North. If it had gone, I think it would have been close to a touchdown because there was nobody near him when he came across the middle and threw that pass. But there must have been some foul up in the signal calling in the North huddle because I think the line moved and the ball wasn't snapped. So that hurt North and took that good field position away a little bit.
Again, it's Duncan, Licciardi, and Reinhardt right to left. Sinclair in the backfield. Quincy 7-man front. They work the same play again, complete to Reinhardt at the 32-yard line as Coach Ken McPhee saying, now what the heck, let's try it again, and it worked.
That's right. If it goes for you once, try it again and keep trying it until they stop it. So that picked up. It doesn't help. It helps them about 10 yards, but they still got a long ways to go for a 1st down. So, but at least they're moving that football. Now they're out of the wet a little bit. They're down on the green grass, so they got a little more running room.
3rd down and 8 for North Quincy. 3:55 to go. First quarter, scoreless football game. 60th meeting between Quincy and North Quincy. Now just 1 man wide as everybody in behind. Josh Gott in the backfield as Higgins drops back looking to throw. Throws the ball out intended for Shea, and we've got a flag at the line of scrimmage. It was incomplete.
I think it's against Quincy because it was a late flag, Charlie, where the tackle was made. No, it's
holding against North Quincy.
Yeah, it came late. It came awful late. It looked like a late hit, but it wasn't.
And so see what they're going to say. Quincy saying decline it. Dave Bogan giving the indication decline it. So it will set up 4th and 8 for North Quincy with the ball in Quincy territory as the officials doing their best to try and keep the pigskin as dry as possible. Steady rain coming down here at the stadium. But a hearty bunch of people. The weather, it's rain or not, and it's easy for me to say with a roof over my head, but there have been a lot worse Thanksgiving Day games weather-wise. Higgins back to punt, takes the snap, high kick, and Kane calls a fair catch, and it rolls into the end zone. So with 3:28 to go in the first quarter, we're scoreless, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. hands it off to Noel Dabana up over the 25 to the 28-yard line, a gain of about 7 or 8 yards. Let's get down to John Nicholson down in the field. He has a great view of the footing and how it's going so far. John?
Charlie, it's getting very sloppy, especially in the midfield area. It's muddy, very muddy, and there's a lot of water starting to accumulate on the field. So look for the teams to try to run to the sidelines and get some footing on the grass.
All right, thank you, John. Second down and a yard. Bartlett on the handoff straight ahead to Dabana. And Dabana hit by just about the entire North Quincy squad and driven back. Brian Raftery and Mark Sinclair in there. And also over to help out was Mike Linnane.
Well, Brian Rafferty, boy, when he hits you, he's 6'3", 6'4", 245, only a junior and linebacker and a offensive tight end. And boy, when he hits you, you know you're hit. So he's a ton, and he's still just a growing boy.
Well, the white jerseys of Quincy are white no more, especially the backs and the linemen. On third down and 2, Bartlett handoff to Dave Bogan over the 30, maybe to the 31, depending on the spot. He should have a first down. We'll see where they spot it. The officials say it is a first down. We're never quite sure because every group of officials is different, and it's one of our pet peeves we have during the year, Tom, that they always step the ball back.
Yeah, they always step it back a step, but the last couple of games we haven't had back steppers. We've had guys that have been placing the ball pretty good. Maybe we're lucking out now. Maybe they're not coming to the game we announce. I don't know.
First down and 10, minute 55 to go. First quarter, scoreless tie. Bartlett play action fake, looking long, looking for Kane, and he overthrows him. Kane looking for a penalty, but it is not to be. The man covering him was Tony Licciardi, as Bartlett just threw it out, but it was 10 yards down field, and Kane unable to get anywhere near it.
Yeah, well, Kane I think had a little peeve over there. He was talking to the official all the way back, and I think he had a legitimate beef. The defensive man was leaning on him. Of course, those defensive men, they have to run backwards, and in this weather, they have to kind of run backwards and sideways, and it's pretty hard to keep up with a guy going full speed ahead, straight ahead. Second down and 10, wide out to the right. Bartlett handoff to Dave Bogan, in trouble at the line of scrimmage and down as Raftery in there once again. Bill Scootle also in to help out, and it'll be third down as Bartlett over to talk to Quincy head coach Jack Raymer on the far side. Quincy, the visitors today. North Quincy down in front of us, the home team. And it will be third down and 11 for the Quincy Presidents. Well, the Presidents got the ball right on the 35, right where the mud starts in the middle of the field, so that's kind of a disadvantage as far as that running game goes. Three wide receivers out to the right. Bartlett is back to pass. Rush is on, and he throws it away and throws it out of bounds, as there was not a white jersey anywhere near, and so it'll be fourth down as Bartlett avoiding the sack by just heaving it out the sideline. Well, as you said before, Charlie, and I mentioned earlier too, the kicking game is very important, and I'll tell you who's really under the pressure in these games are the centers for both clubs on a punt situation. They're centering a wet ball 20 yards back, and they've got to be on the money, and one little slip high or low, and they could turn this ball game right around. So they're under pressure today. Dave Bogan, the punter, stands at his own 20, gets a good snap from center, rushes on, gets it somewhat off the side of his foot. It takes a Quincy bounce. Pat Shea feels it at his own 41, hit by Robbie Kane, and dragged out of bounds right into a big mud pile. Robbie Kane, a great one-on-one tackle for the Quincy Presidents. 52 seconds to go. First quarter, we're scoreless, back in 30 seconds. The Quincy Presidents with good special team work from Robbie Kane as he just came busting down the sideline to take Pat Shea down single-handedly, and North Quincy will have it first and 10 at their own 42-yard line. As the Red Raiders in an I formation, Sinclair the fullback, Knee the tailback, Licciardi and Duncan the wideouts to the right. The give is to Knee, and flags are down. The play is blown dead. And see what our referee will call. Yeah, apparently it's against North Quincy. This is something we haven't seen. North usually doesn't have a problem with motion in the backfield or on the line. They're usually pretty well coordinated, but that's two calls with a motion call, a legal procedure they've had in this game, but that's unusual. But it might have something to do with the slippery ball in the center trying to get it back to the quarterback, but seems to be a little something off there in the count of the numbers.
Well, this is what Quincy has happened to Quincy a lot this year,
Yes.
the penalties, and so far the Presidents have played error-free football. On 1st and 15, handoff to Knee, turning the corner to the left. In trouble at the 39-yard line, dragged out of bounds. Dave Bogan taking him out for the Quincy Presidents. Kevin Carey also over there to help out. And it will be 2nd down and 13 for the Red Raiders. Clock showing 44 seconds. It is stopped on the out-of-bounds play.
As you say, what I said earlier, Charlie, this field is limiting both teams to sideline. North, I think, hasn't run a play to the right side yet outside of a pass. They run the running play all to the left because they've been on that left hash mark, and they want that good footing. The middle of the field is really getting terrible.
From the shotgun, Higgins takes the snap. Looking now, rolls out of the pocket, rolls to the right, being chased by white jerseys, gets away from one. Excuse me, throws it out, and it's intercepted by Dan Morrill of Quincy. Bringing it back as Dan Morrill is stopped at the 42-yard line, and Quincy will take the ball. As the pass was intended for Brian Raftery, and Dan Morrill stepped up and intercepted it over the middle in no man's land. And Raftery is shaken up, and he's coming up. Tony Licciardi literally pushing him off the field. He wants to stay in there, but Licciardi is telling him to get off the field because he is injured, but nope, he's staying out there. Excuse me. So Quincy goes on offense, 1st and 10. First turnover of the game. Bartlett pitch to Bogan. Bogan puts the head down up over the 45 to the 47-yard line. Goes David Bogan. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down for the Quincy Presidents.
Well, they certainly Quincy is trying to move that ball more to the left too. They're trying to run into the now they're on the left side, and they're trying to run to this hash mark over here. So but on that turnover play where Higgins threw that football, he really shouldn't have thrown it. He was coming up and turning on the corner and kind of let it go, and there were 2 or 3 white jerseys there where he threw that football, so they were lucky that wasn't returned further downfield on them. But Rafferty took a hard hit. He made the tackle, but I think it was his left arm. He came up holding his left arm, and he was really hurting out there. And of course, North Quincy can't afford to lose him because he's the mainstay in that linebacking duo there. They want him in there.
We have reached the end of the first quarter at the stadium. It is 0-0. We'll take a 30-second timeout and then be back.
Shape. Middle of the field especially, water is starting to stay on the surface. And that last play before that interception, it looked to me that Higgins had that whole lane open up. The coaches were yelling for him, but with all the excitement here at the stadium, he threw the ball in a great interception by Morrill. And Quincy's going to start their march here in the second quarter. There's only been 2 first downs, and both have been by North Quincy. We saw a quick kick. We're going to see a lot of things happening today. The end of one quarter again, North Quincy 0, Quincy 0. We'll be back with a report at halftime.
Mark Sinclair, also Dave Pacino came in, but he fell forward for a couple, so now it is 3rd down and 4 for the Quincy Presidents.
Well, I myself, I don't think Quincy's going to make a lot of yardage, as we've seen running up on that line, but I think if Quincy goes to here, they got a better chance because it's awful tough on these defensive backs to protect against the pass.
Ball is fumbled by Bartlett from the snap of the center, and he just falls on the ball on 3rd down, so it'll set up a 4th down. And again, as you said, Tom, the football, no matter what you do, once it gets wet, it's wet, and it's very tricky in handling the football.
It certainly is, and you're trying to pass the ball. He just there on the snap from the center to the quarterback. It was miffed because of a wet ball, but just imagine trying to pass it today when it's wet. So that's why a game like this, they say weather's an equalizer in a game, and it sure is equalizing this game right now.
Bogan will punt to either Shea or Lucciardi. He stands at his own 37-yard line, gets a good snap from center. High kick, Shea, fair catch call at the 27-yard line. So that's where North Quincy will start out. And let's go down to the sideline and get a first quarter look from John Nicholson. John?
Well, Charlie, the field, of course, is playing a big part in the football game this morning. North Quincy has been playing very well defensively, not able to really move the football, and a lot of that is due to the conditions on the field. Listening to Coach Ken McPhee here at the quarter change, just urging his players to hang in there and hang tough, Charles.
All right, thank you, John. So the Red Raiders come out, first down and 10. Moving from right to left, from south to north here in the second quarter. Hand off to Sean Nee. He's got a hole, fumbles the football, but the officials will say it's down.
He's hurt too. He's crawling on the ground. His leg must be hurt.
And he's getting up, and Gimpy, his left leg, not putting any weight on it. So Nee coming out of the football game.
Well, that's a loss for North Quincy if he can't go back in there. But he's coming over the bench here. He looks pretty well.
He's going to be treated by Michelle Conley.
Yeah.
The trainer. Look at the leg. He looks like he is in some pain. Second down and 2 as Sean Skane takes his place in the backfield. Gott and Skane are the backs. Duncan wide right. Reinhardt also out to the right. The give is to Skane. 40. He's to the 41 and down to about the 42-yard line. And it'll be a North Quincy first down.
Well, that's what North Quincy has to do. They have to, play pretty basic football right now, both teams, and that's what North Quincy is doing on that play there. It was a basic off-tackle play. Everybody blocked down. The fullback kicked out the end, and the back went up inside the block. So you're going to have to play that type of football, to get the yardage you need, and maybe once in a while get that ball in the air. But you've got to be able to control this football game, and I think that's what North is trying to do right now.
First down and 10. Skane in the backfield, the tailback, Sinclair the fullback, and the give is to Sinclair. 40 to the 45, going right side and dragged out of bounds just about at the 50-yard line, right in front of the North Quincy bench.
Well, they're stacking, Quincy stacking the short side of the field. They know that North is going to run to this sideline, and they're putting an extra man over there, but North still seems to be picking up the yardage, and they can if they just pursue the off-tackle play. But it's too bad this field like this, because it just limits both teams to 2/3 of the football field.
Red Raiders come out on 2nd and 2. The ball at the 50-yard line. Two receivers, Shea and Duncan to the right. Josh Gott the fullback. And the give is to Skane. He's into Quincy territory, 45 and down to about the 40-yard line. Stop made by Mike Elder of the Quincy Presidents, and it is another North Quincy first down on this drive. 7:17 to go. First half, scoreless football game. Quincy and North Quincy, the 60th meeting between these two schools.
Yeah, they got it going now off that tackle spot, and I think they're going to come right back there again. I wouldn't be surprised. And then they get down by that 35, and then they'll have the whole field to play with the grass. But they got to get down to about the 30-yard line, Charlie, to as you can see out there, to get some good footing in the middle of the field.
Well, Sean Nee is trying to walk off the ankle injury. He's apparently heading to the locker room. North Quincy has taken time out. Bill Siebert is behind us, and he's been updating some of the games at the end of the first quarter. Weymouth 7, Brockton nothing, and certainly, Tom, that on paper, that is a surprise, but a muddy field and rain can be the great equalizer at times.
Remember last year, I think, was Weymouth was ahead by 21 points, and then they came back and tied the game, and then Weymouth won it, I think, the last play of the ball.
On knee, his ankle got banged up. I talked to him on the sidelines. He's got feeling. He feels pretty good. They're going to put a little tape on it. He's walking around now, and he should be back in the ball game. Right now, North Quincy's on their march. They're coming onto the field where there has been a lot of playing on it, so they should get good footing for their ground game. Right now, still 0-0 with 7 minutes into the second quarter.
Quincy territory at the 41-yard line as the whistle blows. And we are set to go once again. Jamie O'Connell in the ball game. He is a wing to the left. Backs in a split to give to Sinclair. Trying to find his way up the field. Gets a couple before being brought down. Dave Bogan making the stop for the Quincy Presidents.
Well, they were lucky they got them out. There's just the off-tackle play left again with a wing on the left side over here. But Quincy made some, I think, some changes there personnel-wise to Quincy's right defensive side. But somebody broke in over the middle, and down there caught the tailback running that play. So North Quincy was lucky to get it out. But if North Quincy can get about 4 or 5 more yards out of that off-tackle play, that'll bring him into the clear field. So then they can run right and use the middle of the field.
Braintree 7, Milton nothing, second quarter. That's an update that we have. Braintree looking for their first win of the year. Higgins is back to pass, and the rush is on, and Mike Elder takes him and throws him down like a rag doll at the 45-yard line. Nice sack by Mike Elder of the Quincy Presidents.
Well, he broke in right over the right guard. The right guard went out to block him, and he just slipped him right in his face, and Elder just came right in, and before Higgins could take 3 steps, he was throwing him right to the turf. So great defensive play out there by Quincy, and that's what they're going to do today. They're going to take chances. They're going to send people at North Quincy, and as I said, North was trying to get that 5 yards so they could use that whole field. So I think it's a timeout here for North Quincy. They got to put their heads together and come up with something now. I don't know really why they went to the pass on that, but it just didn't work.
Well, the Stadium Seating Committee, Barry Welch stopped by before the game, wanted to let us know that they thank all the individuals and groups who've purchased a seat on the home stands and rows. 107 rows have been purchased and plaques have been placed on them prior to today's game, and you still can buy a row, buy a seat. Pledge forms for seats and rows available at the concession stands and at the rear of the press box. I, of course, if I can't have one on the other side and on this side, I want no part of it. So that's the only restriction I have as far as this is concerned.
Maybe about 50 years I'll put a bronze plaque up for both of us up here.
Yeah, if this press box isn't condemned first.
If it lasts that long.
Yeah. 3rd and 14, 6 minutes exactly to go. Second quarter, Meg Potter will have news at halftime from our WJDA studios. 3rd down, North Quincy. They send the 3 receivers to the right. The ball left hash mark, and it's a high snap. Higgins just feels it, throws it over the middle, complete to Reinhardt at the 35, 30, 25, dragging Quincy players down to the 10-yard line as Dave Reinhardt catches the pass. Mike Elder finally got him down, but a play that nearly backfired on North Quincy, but for the good hands of Liam Higgins catching the ball that looked like it was going to sail by him.
Well, that's that drag pass to Reinhardt coming from the right side right across behind the linebackers, and he hit him beautifully. He just cleared out to the left side, and of course Reinhardt caught the ball in stride, got ahead of steam, and carried 2 or 3 people with him. Big, strong kid, 6'1", over 200 pounds, so that's the guys you want to go to when you throw a pass today.
First down and 10 from the 11. Higgins on the handoff to Skane. Skane to about the 6-yard line where he is stormed under by a sea of formerly white jerseys. Stop made by Jason Bennett, a sophomore in the football game. Also Mike Feely helping out for the Quincy Presidents. And it will be 2nd down after a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 from the 6-yard line.
Well, there's that off tackle left again, and that was North game's plan, I think, to run to their left against Quincy's right side of the line. There's a little more, seems a little weaker there, and that's what I think North had their game plan to run that side. So they're doing very well.
Full house backfield, slot left. Hand off to Skane. Skane looking, and he is down to about the 1-yard line.
Wow.
I thought perhaps for a moment he
I saw
might have gotten in.
Start to put their hands up, but
and he was stopped. Mike Kavanaugh just nailed Skane at the goal line to deny him the end zone.
Yep.
But it is a first down, and it'll be 1st and goal for the North Quincy Red Raiders. Now they're bringing the sticks. I can't imagine that's not a first down.
Oh, it's got to be. Sure.
That is so so close to the goal line.
Well, that gives both teams a little rest for the next play, but it's so close, it's by the inches.
First down, North Quincy, 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Well, that was the break North was looking for on that pass, and it wasn't a long pass, as I said, Charlie. It was just a cut across the middle.
Timeout has been called by North Quincy. Weymouth 14, Brockton nothing.
Wow.
2:30 of the second quarter. Mike Taylor with a 1-yard run, his second touchdown of the day for the Weymouth Wildcats, leading Brockton 14-0.
Taylor's that little receiver, wasn't he? If I remember, for Weymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, he's really come into the picture down there at Weymouth as a receiver.
So we have timeout on the field right here. North Quincy knocking on the doorstep as Quincy defensive coordinator Bob Cuther talking to his 11, and very difficult. What do you say to a team when the other team's down at the 1-yard line?
You dig in and put your head down and come across the line of scrimmage and take up every gap, and ends come hard and hope they don't run an option or run a sweep outside you. And a lot of other things.
Everybody in tight. 1st and goal at the 1. Linebackers trying to move in. Higgins, quarterback sneak, and he says he's in. The officials say touchdown. Liam Higgins with a 1-yard quarterback sneak, and North Quincy is on the board. They lead 6-0.
Well, that's North Quincy, as we said, was running to this dry side of the field, and they just couldn't get beyond that 35, and they went to the pass, and they hit Reinhardt, as we said, coming across the middle, and it set up that touchdown, and then they ran an off-tackle play. They picked up another 10 yards and right down to, as you say, to the 1-inch line, Charlie, and of course that's the easiest way to put it in by a quarterback sneak. You wedge it up with your center and 2 guards, and your quarterback puts the head down, and he just get in there. Though I tell you, Quincy put a pretty stiff defense up against him.
North Quincy has called a timeout, so with 4:31 to go in the first half, North takes a 6-0 lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Well, the rain's starting to subside here, and North Quincy just put the ball in the end zone. As you saw it coming down, the footing was much better because it's all Virgin territory this side of the 50-yard line. The big play was a shotgun situation. The throw to Reinhardt, the tight end, great hands, ran down the field about 23 yards, picked up a first down, and then coming in, Sean Nee and Skahan, both great runs, brought it to the 1, and Liam Higgins put it over the goal line for a 6-0 lead. Timeout right now before the 2-point conversion, but right now with 4:14 left to go in the first half, it is 6-0 North Quincy over Quincy.
Maybe has gotten to the water faucet and turned it off, so maybe the rain will hold up a while. North Quincy will go for the conversion, and they are going to go for the 2. As Higgins will be in under center, Nick Mastrogiacomo. Sinclair, lone man in the backfield, 3 receivers to the right. As Higgins calls signals, he gives it to Sinclair, and he runs it in for the 2-point conversion.
Nice hole on that left side. Boy, I'll tell you, they lined up three to the right. You looked like they were going to run to the right or pass, and he just came up and started out the left side, saw a little hole back in, nice little hole back inside, and he went through. Nobody laid a glove on him, Charlie. Beautiful. I don't know if there's a trap in there or not, but nobody even touched him. He just scooted right over the middle of that goal line.
8-0 our score as the Red Raiders of North Quincy have drawn first blood in that touchdown. Really set up, Tom, by the pass play to Dave Reinhardt, taking it for about 35 yards and dragging some Quincy players right down the field for about 20 yards with him.
Well, it was the same pass play they hit on over here. They missed it in the first one. They hit it, but then they were called back on the penalty, and they threw it again, and they completed it, and it was exactly the same pass play, only it was just over a bit more to the sideline. And, of course, as we say, Reinhardt is all-American, all high school, I think all-American, if you want to put it that way. And he gets that football, he's just going to run right over you. That's what he did. He ran over the Quincy secondary.
And Quincy will peel back Noel DeBona and Robbie Kane, each one game breakers. So we'll see how North Quincy handles this. If they choose to kick it short. I'm sure there's some feelings about that. And the North players
give Kenny the one sign down. They all get their finger up.
as the one again saying that
doesn't mean they're number one.
No, it does not mean they're number one. And the kick coming, it'll be DeBona at his own 8-yard line. Kane blocking out in front to the 20, to the 24-yard line, and Quincy will start 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. 4:24 to go. First half here at the stadium. It is 8-0, the North Quincy Red Raiders with the lead.
Boy, there was a hard hit on that tackle. I don't know who that ball carrier was for Quincy. I couldn't pick it up, but he was really wrapped. DeBona. 2 or 3 of the North Quincy people just slammed him, and he got up pretty slow. And DeBona, of course, as we said all through the year, Charlie, he and Bogan are the workhorse on that Quincy team. Big, strong, not fast backs, but big, strong backs, and they play both ways.
As Bartlett under center. With his backs, he gives it to Bogan, who lined up at a wing, and Bogan has his feet taken out from under him almost immediately. Reinhardt or Persino in there to trip him up, and it'll be 2nd down, loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 for the Quincy Presidents.
Well, we talk a lot about Reinhardt, but Dave Persino's only a junior. He's 5'8", he's 200 pounds. He's built like a fire hydrant, and boy, he plays that nose guard, and he's in that backfield about 90% of the time. He's a great little ball player.
2nd down and 11, 3:49, clock moving left in this first half. Pitch going to Kane in the backfield. Kane's in trouble, and he is hit back at the 17-yard line and taken down. Sean Skane, Dave Reinhardt in there. Sean Halpin as well.
Keep naming them half the team.
Yes. Robbie Kane, a very popular fella today in the wrong way for him, as he is a marked man. North Quincy going everywhere that Robbie Kane is going, and they have kept him under wraps so far in this game.
Yeah, that was their strategy going in. He was the fast one they had to control, and they're certainly doing one heck of a job of it so far.
DeBona is wide to the right. Kane is the tailback. It's Kane that gets the pitch. Now he throws a pass on the option, and it is intercepted. Picked off by the North Quincy Red Raiders. Sean Halpin on the seat of his pants. Look what I found as the ball was deflected, and suddenly Halpin looks up, and there's the ball. It'll be North Quincy ball 1st and 10 at the Quincy 30-yard line.
Well, you know what that was? That was a halfback sweep pass, and I think North Quincy was waiting for it. They had tried it in the JV game the other day, and North picked it up. So North was kind of sitting back waiting for that ball, and it got deflected. So it never got to the deep man it was intended to. It was deflected, and that's why it was picked up. So North was ready for that play.
Weymouth 14, Brockton 8, Severian 20, St. John 6. Couple of scores. Mark Sinclair gets the handoff. Breaking tackles, touchdown!
Oh.
Mark Sinclair from 30 yards out, breaking 2 Quincy tacklers, and North Quincy has taken a 14-0 lead over Quincy.
Well, Sinclair just was in the tailback position, and he just came off tackle, and he found a little hole inside the tackle, cut up, went to his right, put a little deke on, got a block in the secondary, and just weaved his way down, got in the clear, turned on the jets, and went right over the goal line. Nobody laid a glove on him. So that North Quincy's really got that offense in gear, and of course, as we said, it's that great North defense that really sets it up.
The pass interception comes back to hurt Quincy as North with a 14-0 lead, and they're going to try and kick. No, they're going to go for the 2 in the shotgun. Higgins stands, sends Sinclair out to the left. He takes the snap with one hand, rolls out to the right. Looking, now tries to turn the corner and is denied the end zone. A great play by Mike Elder, who put the shoulder down to deny Higgins the end zone. So the try for the 2, no good. 2:47 to go. First half, it is 14-0. North Quincy will be back in 30 seconds. Stadium. It is 14-0. The North Quincy Red Raiders converting an intercepted halfback option pass from Robbie Kane into a touchdown on one play. Mark Sinclair, 30 yards, tried for the two, no good, and it is a 14-0 lead. Kane and DeBona are standing at their own 10-yard line, 2:47 to go in this first half, and Quincy has got to get some offense going, as the North Quincy defense has just put a blanket over the Quincy offense so far. Short kick, and it goes through, and it is Kane at the 15, 20, 25, 30. He's got one man to beat that Higgins at the 50, and Higgins gets him and takes him down at the 48-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle by Liam Higgins, who grabbed Robbie Kane by the back of his jersey, and but for that, it would have been a Quincy touchdown.
Well, you know, Todd, I was just going to say, and I don't mean to second-guess things, but when you get a ball game and it's a field like this, and when you kick off, and you're running full speed down to the field, and the back catches it, and you're trying to slow down to make the tackle, you run by the back, and that's what happens. I'm not taking anything away from Kane. It was a great run, but it puts that man at an advantage because you're slip and slide, and you can't control yourself. You got the defense has got to break down and slow down, and they run right by the ball carrier, and that happened to 3 or 4 people in there on that play.
First down and 10. Bartlett on the handoff. And I believe it's Dave Bogan. Those jerseys already getting very, very muddy. And no, it was Noel DeBona with the football for just a couple of yards. It'll be second down, clock moving, 2:20 to go in this first half. North Quincy leading by a 14-8 score. The North Quincy Red Raiders assured of going to the Super Bowl. They call it that, but I call it myself a playoff game because there's no Super Bowl, if you will. There's no one champion. As Quincy with a pass play over the middle to Kane, and we've got a flag, and we're going to have a pass interference call. Tony Licciardi on the coverage, and they're going to say that he interfered with Kane, and it will give Quincy the ball at the North Quincy 41-yard line.
Good play by Quincy as a quick look-in pass to the wide receiver, and he came inside. And as he came inside, he was hit. There was no question about it. It was a good call, not intentionally. Again, I think the footing, and he was hit by the defensive man, and it's a first down for Quincy now. So that's a good break for Quincy in there.
Minute 57, so plenty of time. Quincy would really like to get it into the end zone to cut this North Quincy squad. This so far has been the best offense that Quincy has shown. Jason Silva in the ball game, wide right, as Bartlett goes back to pass, looking long, looking for Kane, and he does not get it at the 20-yard line as Kane tried to make the old Willie Mays over the shoulder catch, and for a moment it looked like he had it, but he hit the ground and it fell incomplete.
Well, it was just about a foot too long, but you know, he had his defensive man beat. He was behind him, and he, as you say, he turned over his shoulder and looked to the sideline, but if it was a foot shorter, I think he would have caught it. So you know, this Bobby Kane is something. He's a little guy, but boy, a big heart, and I was surprised how small he is, but he can play football. He's a streak.
Bartlett back to pass again. Here comes the rush as he throws it out, and he throws it to the Quincy sideline, just getting it away. It looks, Tom, like Mike Bartlett has been told by the Quincy staff that if you're in trouble, if you look like you may be getting sacked, to just throw it away.
Well, no, that's true, I'm sure. But what happened then, he was looking for an out man on the sideline. One of the backs came out of the backfield and went towards the Quincy bench on the far side. And what happened, Eric Delory, the defensive man, corner man, just picked him up, and he stayed with him all the way. He read that play, and then he threw that ball. And as he looked out there, he couldn't hit him because he was covered, and he just threw it over his head. So it was a great defensive play by Eric Delory out there.
Third down and 10. Now they go into the shotgun as Elder goes in motion, and Bartlett throws it out, a dying quail, and it is incomplete. as Bartlett having a problem with his passes, just really getting a good grip on the ball. It was intended for Kane and fell about 5 yards short. So now it's 4th and 10, minute 41 to go in the first half. 14-0 North Quincy with the lead. And Quincy will go for it on 4th down.
Oh, sure. They'll send their people deep. And then it can cause trouble if the North Quincy secondary plays up too quick and Quincy gets behind them. I would imagine, I think they're playing up a little too tight. If I was the coach, I think I'd have them play a little bit looser on these defensive people in a game like this. So I think we're going to have a delay of game
against Quincy. Yep.
That was a long huddle.
So that's going to cost them 5 and move them back, and it will be 4th and 15. And
doesn't make much difference right now. They got to go for the long one. No, they got to go for the long pass.
Well, Jack Raymer was talking to Dave Bogan, bringing the play. Robbie Kane talking to the official as they move the ball back to the 47-yard line, and they do move into punt formation. But well, we'll see.
What happens.
Bogan is the punter. High snap, and he does indeed punt it away. Reinhardt was right there in his face. It goes to Shea at the 18, puts the knee down. North with the ball. 1st and 10, minute 34 to go. First half, 14-0 North Quincy, back in 30 seconds. Back here, Sean Skane for about 12 yards up the middle to the 31-yard line for the North Quincy Red Raiders, and it will be another first down for North Quincy. Minute 27 to go. The Red Raiders with a 14-0 lead over the Quincy Presidents.
Well, boy, they certainly opened a hole on that play. I think you and I could have walked through there, Charlie. That hole was about 12 feet wide.
Quincy's got to stop them defensively right now. They're down 14, and they cannot let North Quincy score again before halftime. Higgins on the handoff to Mark Sinclair, going up the middle and churning those feet for a couple of extra yards. Jason Bennett making the stop for the Quincy Presidents. It'll be 2nd down. We're under a minute now to go in this first half. John Nicholson down on the field, and he will try and get a word with the coaches before they go into the locker room. 2nd and 4, ball far hash mark, line of scrimmage, North Quincy's own 36-yard line, I formation, receivers right and left, Duncan right, Shea is left, Higgins fumbles the football and recovers it and is covered immediately by Bennett once again for the Quincy Presidents.
Well, they're right on the edge of that, right in the middle of that slop out in that field, and even the handoffs now. If you're playing out there in the middle of that mud, it's just even the handoff from the center of the quarterback becomes difficult, as you can see.
Well, Quincy has taken a timeout with 20 seconds, so they're going to make North Quincy snap the ball 2 times more. Reminder, we'll be picking, and Tom, the pressure is on us because we're going to do it right today. Not going to put them in suspense. At the end of the game, we're going to pick an outstanding player from Quincy and an outstanding player from North Quincy. So we're going to give 2 trophies away today, and so we'll be picking those at the end of the game, and they'll receive a very nice trophy.
That's nice. We'll do the best we can. We try to be as fair as we can about it. We usually have a tape to look over, so if we have to make a quick judgment like this, I'm sure we won't make everybody happy, but we'll do the best we can because really there's about 20 kids on each team that are playing great football out here, playing their hearts out here this morning, and leaving it all out here to play. North might be ahead, but this ball game is far from being over, and anything can happen. So let's not go home and figure this game is wrapped up. So these kids are really putting it out here. So no matter who gets the trophy, we'd like to give one to everybody, Charlie, I'm sure.
All right, so that'll be coming up. It's 3rd and 5. Higgins on a handoff to Skane. Skane up to the 40-yard line. He's going to be shy of the first down, and Quincy will stop the clock. It will set up a 4th down and about a yard. We have a halftime score. Bill Siebert reporting on Milton Braintree, or Bill's behind us. Our production coordinator today, Mike Benjamin's actually over at Braintree. At 7-3 at halftime. Braintree leading the Milton Wildcats. Braintree trying to win their first game of the year, so they are at halftime. Here we are 9 seconds away from halftime. It is 14-0. The North Quincy Red Raiders with the lead over the Quincy Presidents.
Well, you know, we got a pretty good crowd here. We haven't mentioned it, Charlie, but the stands are not completely filled, but on the Quincy side, I'd say about over 9/10 of the way filled. Lots of people standing in the end zone, and that corner you often talk about is completely filled. And
I haven't looked at, oh, yeah, there it
all
is.
up the hill there, and
Yep.
this North Quincy side here is full to our left, and the Quincy side here to our right is about half full, so we've got a nice crowd. All these umbrellas are here, very colorful out here today.
4th and 1, and Higgins quarterback sneak, and he's got the first down. And they will stop the clock with 5 seconds to go. It'll be first down, North Quincy, as they have turned a couple of miscues into touchdowns. Couple of pass plays have worked well. Higgins with 1 touchdown, Sinclair with the other. And we have completed the first half of football here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, and our score is the North Quincy Red Raiders 14 and the Presidents of Quincy nothing. North Quincy going through the tunnel right now to the locker room, and I see John Nicholson is down there with Coach Ken McPhee. So, John, take it away.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Well, Coach, you're going into the locker room at halftime with a lead. You must feel a little comfortable.
Not at all. I've been in this position before. About 4 years ago, we went into the locker room leading 18-6, if you recall, and we lost the game 24-18. So, no, we're not going in comfortable at all. We're going in and we're going to do what we have to do to make some adjustments and come out and win the second half. That's the important thing. We got to go out and win another half.
Slow start, but your offense really started to move towards the end of the half.
Well, that's the kids adjusting to what's going on. I mean, our offensive line has done an outstanding job all season, and right now they're picking up what Quincy's defense is doing to us, and they're gonna make the adjustments on the field, and that's what they did.
Thank you very much, Coach. We'll let you get back to your team. And Charlie, I'll keep it here for a second to see if I can find Coach Raymer.
He's already gone down the tunnel.
He's already gone down the tunnel here. Well, I'll go down the tunnel and see if I can
All
catch
right,
him.
John, if you can find out the status of Sean Nee for North Quincy. He left the game earlier on, so maybe you can check on that while you're down there, and we'll see what happens as John Nicholson trying to get Jack Raymer, and we'll hold it here. I think he's gone into the locker room, and I wouldn't blame him
Charlie?
at this point. Yes, John.
I did not get Coach Raymer. He has gone into the locker room, but I did get a chance to talk to one of the assistant coaches for North, and he says that Sean Nee has a strained ligament in his ankle. They don't expect that he'll be back in the second half.
All right, thank you, John. Good job down there, and go get a hot cup of coffee.
Well, you know, Charlie, you remember you made me an offer before the game, and I may take you up on it for the second half.
Oh, is that right? Oh, you want me to go down there? All right. Yeah, I'm game. I'll give it a shot. It is 14-0 at halftime. The North Quincy Red Raiders with the lead. Touchdowns in the second quarter. Higgins, a 1-yard run. Sinclair, a 30-yard run. Sinclair also with a 2-point conversion. North Quincy 14 and Quincy nothing. We're going to take a break for news.
At halftime, score 14-0, North Quincy Red Raiders over the Quincy Presidents. The way the scoring went, nothing happened in the first quarter. The field down the far side behind me, you can see me, it's pretty muddy. The footing was terrible, but then they come up this side of the 50, which I said earlier, virgin territory. The ground was kind of intact and plenty of grass to run around in, and that's how they did it with a shotgun situation. You had Liam Higgins hit Reinhardt on a 22-yard pass that brought it into the 10-yard line. and then they ran it with Skahan and Sinclair to the 1, and then a quarterback sneak over the middle for a touchdown. Then the 2-point conversion, Sinclair up the middle, and that made it 8-0. Then a big interception. Robbie Kane trying to throw in an option, threw it, and it was an interception by North Quincy. And off they went in to go for another touchdown, a 37-yard run by Sinclair, untouched. His great running ability, like I said, great footing on this side of the field, and that made it 14-0. The 2-point conversion, Liam Higgins was just inches shy of going in, so that's how it stood. There has been 8 first downs for North Quincy in the first half, and only 1 for Quincy. Quincy, on the other hand, a rough going for Robbie Kane today, such a great player, and the other players of the Quincy Presidents, but their footing has not been good for that team. And the defense standouts again is North Quincy. They've been playing a great football game on defense. Reinhardt leading his troops, and that's how the scoring has been here. Right now the rain is starting to pour, as you can see me. I'm wet as a rat here at halftime. Score 14-0. I'm going to get some cover, and we'll see you for second half action. Once again, North Quincy Red Raiders 14, the Quincy Presidents 0.
30 yards to the touchdown. They tried for the 2 points. They were unsuccessful. So our score is 14-0. The North Quincy Red Raiders with the lead over the Quincy Presidents here at halftime. Well, John Nicholson is down on the field. The poor man is getting rained on. I tried to get him to stay up here, Tom, but he wouldn't do it. He's down there, and he's done everything but run out in the field and get muddy himself. No way, John.
He's really into the game, right?
He is into the game.
Yeah,
my hat will never be the same. I loaned him my hat. It may never be the same, but
we'll know he's really get into it. When he starts like those kids out there and slides across the field in the mud, then we'll know he's really into it.
All right, 14-0, and Jack Raymer is coming out. John is going to try and get a quick word with Jack Raymer. He's slopping his way through the mud with Jack Raymer, so let's send it down to John.
Thank you very much, Charlie. And Coach, you've got a little bit of ground to make up here in the second half.
Well, we're down to 20 minutes here, John. We're going to do what we can do out here. I don't know. It's tough to throw, although they're throwing the football. We've got to stop them, and I don't know. The kids are going to give it their best. That's all we can really say. I don't have any trick plays for this weather. So this is a big series for us right now. We got to get something going, and hopefully we can bring one in, and it's going to be messy, so we'll see what happens.
All right, Jackie, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us. And Charlie, as he said, the field is dictating the game here at this point. It is a mud bowl out here, and it's not only are you playing the other team, but you're trying to cope with the field conditions and the weather as well. But everybody here, despite the rain, despite the fact that it's coming down, there is a real great mood down here. Charlie?
All right, John, and why don't you come up and get out of the rain for crying out loud?
Well,
He's wet now.
I told you, Charlie, that I can't get any wetter, and I'm not going to get dry up there. And this is where the action is.
All right, John.
Well, you know, the amazing part, Charlie, just took a walk down below, and not many people are leaving, even though the rain is coming down. All the umbrellas are up, and everybody's holding fast. They're staying in their seats. Now, they're not sitting down. They're standing up with all colored umbrellas. So we got some real Royal fans here from both North and Quincy. This ball game is hardly over yet. There's going to be a lot of 20 minutes of football played here, and good hard football even in the mud. So we get some loyal. I think this is typical of Quincy. They really love their football, both at Quincy and North Quincy, and they turn out for this game, and it's a tribute to the people of Quincy.
Anybody's football game, as you say, Tom, as North Quincy had the advantage in the first half, but I'm sure Jack Raymer has gone into the locker room and maybe tried to come up with some things to get the offense a little more geared to playing in this quagmire.
Well, as he said, there's no trick plays, and if you had a couple, they wouldn't do you much good out here. You just got to, as we said earlier, you just got to come off tackle, play basic football, and just try to grind it out and get that ball in the end zone. And, of course, Jack is behind by 2 touchdowns, but this Quincy team is a big, strong team, and these kids from Quincy have been through a lot of adversity this year, and they've never given out, so they're not going to give out in the next 20 minutes, I'm sure of that. On the other hand, North Quincy, they get a lot of pride. They don't want to see their record blemish. They want to go into what they call the playoff, a Super Bowl game next Saturday with a 10-0 record. So they both got a lot on the line and a lot of pride on the line today, Charlie.
Quincy will receive the opening kickoff here in the third quarter as Liam Higgins will boot it away, and it will be Kane and DeBona back deep. North Quincy defending the goal to our right, the south goal here at the third quarter at the stadium. It is 14-0. North Quincy with the lead, and the North players again signaling the number 1 for the late young Tommy Gilmartin, who was an inspiration to this North Quincy squad, and they salute him once again.
North Quincy's got to be careful now. They don't. Last time they over pursued the ball. I mean by that they overran the ball in the kickoff, and Kane almost broke it loose.
As Higgins kicks it long and deep, and it's going to be Kane at the 15 to the 20. 25, gets a hole and is spun down at about the 35-yard line. Again, someone had to grab Robbie Kane by the jersey because he had a hole, and I'm not sure if it was Scoodle that got to him or perhaps Dave Carney, but somebody grabbed Robbie Kane by the jersey, and fortunate for them, they brought him down. Quincy comes out, 1st and 10. Jason Sova, cleanest uniform on the field, wide out to the right. Bartlett calling signals. Man in motion, pitch to, and I honestly don't know if it was DeBona or Bogan, but there was nothing doing. It was Bogan who had the pitch and found absolutely nothing, lost some yardage, and it will be 2nd down for the Quincy Presidents, 2nd and 15. As Coach Jack Raymer said, a very important series for Quincy coming up to start this second half.
Well, I tell you, this North defensive team is just ferocious out there. They just swarm you, and they get such great speed, too. They're big, they're strong, great foot speed. And wherever that football is, they get 3 or 4 people to it.
2nd down. Clifford going in motion to the left. Man back to pass. Sova, the man there out in the right flat, and he had the ball go right through his hands. Incomplete. Sova, as the ball was snapped, fell down as he tried to dig his cleats into the turf, got up and nearly caught the ball, but again, right through his hands, so it'll be 3rd and 15 for Quincy.
Well, I think that's what Quincy's going to have to do. They're just being practical about it right now. It's pretty tough to go run against that big North Quincy line, so Quincy's going to have to air this football out, and then, of course, anything can happen. You can get a long touchdown on a fluke, or you can get an interception, so it's a big gamble right now.
Now Bartlett goes into the shotgun. Kane is wide. Elder in motion. He's back to pass. He throws it out. He's got a man. DeBona complete at the 45, 50, 45, and bumped out of bounds at the North Quincy 38-yard line. Noel DeBona all alone at the 40-yard line to catch the pass from Mike Bartlett. 1st down for Quincy.
Well, I don't know what happened on that play. DeBona and another wideout came over here, and only one North man came over here to cover him. Somebody fouled up on the North secondary that didn't come over and cover DeBona. He was all by himself, so they really pulled a quickie on North Quincy that time, and a big break for Quincy starting out in this half. So they got good field position now.
1st and 10 for the Presidents, their biggest offensive play of the game as the pitch goes to Noel DeBona. He is hit at the line of scrimmage at the 40 and driven back. Loss of a couple of yards. Stop made by Brian Raftery for the North Quincy Red Raiders. And it will be 2nd and 11 for Quincy. As you say, Tom, despite the weather, Quincy's best shot is to go through the air.
Yeah, they've got to go to the air. There's no two ways about it. They're just the North line is just overpowering, and anything can happen. Air it out and see what happens. Take your chances.
And off to Dave Bogan. Bogan up to the line of scrimmage, gain of a couple of yards. That is about all. And now we get a whistle. We've got a Quincy and North player over on the far side pushing and shoving, and we've got a penalty flag.
I think it might be against Quincy. I'm not sure. If it is, it's a tough break right now. 15-yarder personal foul.
Or it.
They're pointing that way.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against both teams,
ways.
so
That's good.
offsetting.
That was good. What happened over there? They both slipped and fell on each other. They both tried to get up, and one pushed the other down, the other pushed the other, and they were pushing each other's shoulders into the mud. But that was a good call by the official. Evens it up.
Well, the officials, and I may regret saying this because but the officials have let these youngsters play the game today.
Yes, they've done an excellent job out here today. As you say, usually if you get some mature officials, and these fellows look like they're not youngsters, they're mature guys, and they let the kids play the ball. Only call the real flagrant penalties, and that's what they're doing.
Bartlett on 3rd and 10, and now we get a whistle, and Quincy will be called for delay of game, so this will cost him 5, and it will be 3rd and 15 now for the Presidents at the North Quincy 43-yard line, and that's been about the worst penalty that Quincy has had today. That's been 2 or 3 times that they've had the delay of game.
I think that's 2nd or 3rd. I'm not sure, but that's really the only penalty they've had. They played pretty smart football today, and they haven't say what we used to say, shoot yourself in the foot. They haven't done it today. So now I think they'll still put that ball in the air, and they get some grass right behind that secondary. So see if they can air it out.
DeBona is wide to the right. Bartlett back, setting up a screen to Bogan. Complete 40, 35 on his feet to the 30, and down to about the 27-yard line goes Dave Bogan. It should be enough for a Quincy first down. Good screen pass call by Quincy.
Yeah, nice screen pass, and I wonder, he threw it up in the middle there. All the jerseys looked about the same, so give him credit for finding the right jersey to throw to up there, but it was a great middle screen. North Quincy didn't have anybody covering it, and they picked up the good yardage. Now it's a first down on the, 25-yard line.
1st and 10, Quincy at the 27 in North Quincy. North leading 14-0, 6:50 to go. 3rd quarter, Bartlett back to pass again. Has his man Sova complete to the 21-yard line and down as Sova just went straight down the field and caught the ball. Stop made by Bill Scootle and Mark Sinclair also over to help out for the North Quincy Red Raiders. A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Well, North Quincy's secondary is playing off those receivers a little bit. They're going to give them some yardage, but they're going to play back a little. So now they're on the dry part of the field, so they can do anything down here.
Bartlett with an I formation behind him, and he gives it to DeBona, and DeBona inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line. He is close. He should have the first down again, depending on the spot. Had to get to the 17, and it looked like he got to the 15. So the officials have yet to give the indication.
Great run by DeBona in there. He's really a workhorse for this team. He and Bogan, but boy, DeBona is a hard runner. He went up the middle, didn't have much. He was hit by 2 people, spun off, made a beautiful spin off, picked up another 3 or 4 yards, and that's what you call a real crunch football player in there. He could play for any team.
Well, they're bringing the sticks across to measure it as the ball spotted at the 16-yard line. And I think they've got it, but we'll see. We've been 1 for 1 so far, Tom. Let's see if we can keep the streak alive here.
Looks like they got it.
And it is a first down for Quincy. 1st and 10 for the Presidents at the North Quincy 16-yard line. Deepest penetration of the day for Quincy as they trail by 14 and really need to get it into the end zone to cut the lead. As the Presidents await the whistle, Bartlett under center. Hands it off to his fullback. Penalty flag. The ball is fumbled. I believe Quincy recovers. North Quincy indicating that they have it, but I believe it was a Quincy player that recovered. But penalty flag thrown immediately as the ball was snapped.
They're pointing towards north. I saw it over there on the left side, the Quincy end in the north corner. We're pushing back and forth, but I think I'm not sure. I think it.
Offside North Quincy.
Yeah. Oh, an offside. Yeah, I thought it was a personal penalty over there. So that's 5.
So North Quincy giving up some yardage here, and Quincy with their best opportunity, and they have taken the football the kickoff of the second half and have controlled the ball for almost 5 minutes. And they have first down once again and 5 at the Red Raider 12. Bartlett with Bogan and DeBona. Fake to DeBona. Bartlett throws into the end zone, and it is caught but out of bounds. As I believe it's Robbie Kane who caught the ball, and they say he was out of bounds. No, excuse me, it was
Kane.
Brian Clifford who caught the ball, and he got a face full of mud right in the puddle. And it will go as an incompleted pass.
Well, that was a great break for North Quincy because he caught the ball. As you said, maybe we'll get a replay on it, but it was hard to see down in that corner, Charlie. But he must have just stepped out of bounds as he caught it. But they flooded this right area over here with 3 receivers. Looks like they're going to try it again.
Second down and 5. They hand it off to Dave Bogan. Bogan gets to about the 11-yard line, taken down. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard. We'll see what happens, where they mark it. And it'll be third down, no gain, 3rd and 5. Jack Weir, the equipment manager for Quincy, is doing yeoman work. He is shuttling the ball in and out, trying to keep a dry ball for the Quincy offense. Jack, longtime employee of the Quincy Public Schools. Very nice gentleman. 3rd and 5 for Quincy as the pitch to DeBona, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage, lost his footing, but was taken down. Sean Halpin on the stop for North Quincy. And now Quincy will be faced with a 4th down and 5 with the ball at the Red Raider 11.
Well, they tried a quick pitch to the outside to try to get to the dry side of the field and the corner away from our booth here, but North Quincy is waiting for him. So here's the big play right here for Quincy right now.
Quincy needs to convert. They have receivers left and right. Bartlett now sends Kane from left to right in motion. He rolls out of the pocket, looking, throwing in the end zone, and it is incomplete. Had a man in the end zone, and he could not catch the football. Hit the ground and bounced loose. So North Quincy has held. They will go on offense. It is 14-0. North Quincy will be back in 30 seconds. I have no idea who that was. One play run, Sean Skane taking the handoff from Liam Higgins for 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Sean Nee suffering a ankle injury, and he left the game early on in the first quarter, and he will not be back, and Skane has taken up the slack and done a good job for North Quincy.
Well, they've got about 3 backs they can put on. They're not short on running backs on that North Quincy team.
2nd down and 7. Backs are in a split. Quincy needs the defense right now, and the handoff to Josh Scott, and he is hit at the line and taken down as the front wall of the Quincy Presidents all coming in to make the stop. Noel DeBona was in there. Among others, the jerseys are just really getting impossible to read right now.
It's hard to tell one team from the other, actually, when they mix up in there. I don't know how you're going to do it, but if they don't pick up a first down now, North Quincy's going to be in a tough punting situation here. 3rd and 6, Sinclair goes in motion. Now they pitch it to Skane. Skane trying to turn the corner. He's to the 20, to the 25, and is down. It'll be a first down for North Quincy on the quick pitch. Robbie Kane on the stop for Quincy. It is a North Quincy first down. Well, that was a nice sweep. They pitched it out. They took a chance. They pitched in the muck over there. It's a tough play to get off the ground. You got to take a chance and pitch that ball wide, and he caught it. And he started off slow, and he picked up his 2 blockers in front, and they just cleared the corner out in the secondary. So he picked up a nice long game. But they took a chance, but it came through that. And that's what North wants, to get it out of that near that end zone with all that slop.
1st and 10, Red Raiders. Duncan wide to the right. Back split now. Sinclair goes in motion to the left. Higgins on the handoff to Skane. Skane for about a yard as he was hit by several former white jerseys. Wayne Burns, it looks like, for Quincy Presidents, making the stop. Yeah. The second man, Steve Provost, coming through to make the stop. Lead man was Greg Santoro for Quincy. And it'll be 3rd down for the North Quincy Red Raiders.
Well, they're still running over here to this short side. Off tackle, right to the hash mark. And of course, Skane went a little bit too wide that time. He should have stayed inside. But give credit to this Quincy defensive line, boy. They're playing some football out here today. They're digging in, and they're giving North Quincy more than they can handle right now.
3rd down and 6. Handoff to Skane. He's got the first down and more to the 50, and he falls forward.
Late hit.
And they're going to call a late hit on Quincy as Skane got over the 50 down to about the 46-yard line, was down. In high school football, the knee goes down, the play is dead. A Quincy player came along a little later to bring him down, and it's a personal foul against Quincy, and just what they did not need right now, as Skane with a big gainer, and then the personal foul, and suddenly North Quincy is at the Quincy 30-yard line.
Well, Skane come through the line, a nice hole burst out, then he started to slip and slide. He started to go down, he caught himself, he slid some more, got up and picked up that yardage. Then, of course, he went down. I don't know who the Quincy man, when he was laying down, came right over and jumped on top of him after he was down. So it wasn't too smart a penalty on Quincy that they just picked up there.
1st and 10, I formation, wide out Duncan to the right. Higgins fumble the football. North Quincy recovers it, but Higgins never had the handle to it from Master Giacomo, the center, but it was recovered. Sinclair got the football. So a wasted play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for North Quincy at the Quincy 30-yard line, and we will not get another play off in this quarter. Clock moving down with 3 seconds, 2 seconds. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with our score remaining 14-0. North Quincy will be back in 60 seconds.
Great defense here played by North Quincy in the 3rd quarter as Quincy was coming down their throats, trying to put that ball in the end zone. The pass was complete in the end zone, but he dropped it. Also, that other play in the corner in the end zone, he had his feet were in bounds, but when he didn't really have possession of the ball, he was bobbling. He didn't really hold on to it until he was out of bounds on that play. So just to clear that up for you. Also, right now, North Quincy on their way, as you saw in this drive, Dave Pacino, when the ball was on their own 20 with a great block to open it up for Sakahan. And that's leading the way right now. We had that penalty, and North Quincy's on the march again. They're going to change fields, go down the 4th quarter. Right now, at the end of 3 quarters of play, it is 14-0 NQ over Quincy.
At the stadium, 4th quarter just about to begin as the coaches talking to each team, and Earl Metzler, the defensive coordinator for North Quincy, that white satin jacket is taking a bit of a punishment today. It's not going to be white much longer, as he is very noticeable on the sidelines calling the defensive signals, but he's taking the mud today. Quincy needs the defense right now. They need 2 touchdowns to tie this football game, but North looks like they're moving once again pretty well.
I'll give Master Giacomo credit, and he's done a heck of a job getting that ball back to the quarterback.
Higgins with the snap, pitch to Skane, and Skane is hit behind the line of scrimmage, loss of about a yard, and taken down. And I believe it's Dave Bogan that got to him and took him down. Yep.
Well, if you notice out in that field, Charlie, the Quincy end of the field is much more dug up between the 30s and the goal line than the north end is. So now North is running in that slop, and it's all the way down to just about the 5-yard line now. It just seems to expanding out all the time.
Third and 10 for North Quincy, with Sinclair the fullback, Skane the tailback, Duncan wide to the right, Higgins on the handoff to Skane. He's got a hole, he breaks a couple of tackles, and he's inside the 20 to the 15-yard line, right up the middle. And it'll be a first down for North Quincy as Sean Skane with another big gainer on third down. And the Red Raiders are in business once again deep in Quincy territory.
Well, just a straight handoff to the tailback right up the middle, and a nice hole up there, and he just bowled his way, just ran up straight and just ran over people. And here's North Quincy knocking on the gate again.
Duncan again goes out wide, and we've got a timeout that's being taken by Quincy, and somewhere down on the field is John Nicholson, and let's bring him in to give us an assessment of the field and what he's learned along the sidelines. John?
Well, Charlie, thank you. And the field is, of course, as the game goes along, just gets slippier and slidier, and it's tougher for the players to be able to make any cuts and to be able to handle the ball. But Jack Raymer said, as we talked to him before the second half began, that their first possession was key, and they did drive the ball, weren't quite able to convert it, and now North Quincy is on the move.
All right, John, and the rain holding off for the moment, so just try and stay dry down there.
Well, this North Quincy is 9 minutes, Charlie, and 39 seconds away from having a 10-0 record, and they can feel that bit right on their teeth right now, and Quincy's got the back against the wall. Everything is going against it, but these Quincy kids, I'll tell you, they're tough. I coached at Quincy High School, and I tell you one thing about Quincy kids, no matter how bad it is, they'll never quit physically. They'll come at you, and so this ball game can still be turned around. So Quincy fans, don't despair. This Quincy kids, they'll come right back at you.
Braintree 7-3 over Milton at the end of 3 quarters. Mike Benjamin reporting. First down and 10 for the North Quincy Red Raiders. I formation with, looks like got the fullback now, and Skane gets the handoff, sweeps right side, fumbles the football, and I believe it's North Quincy ball. He fumbled it, but it went out of bounds, so North Quincy catches a break as Skane taking it down to about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's a break. It bounced outside. I just want to clarify my last remark there, Charlie. I said I coached at Quincy. I also, in case somebody says I'm a homer for Quincy, I'm favoring Quincy. I'm not, but I coached at North too, and my alma mater is North Quincy. But I appreciate the kids on both sides of this line today. They really play football, so I'm trying to give them all the credit I can out here.
They have done yeoman's work today in the mud. You can see the steam from the players. Right. Their body heat just coming out of their uniforms as it is so wet and cold down there. Skane gets the handoff. He fumbles the football in the end zone. And I believe Quincy recovers it.
Not standing with the hands up, but I thought Quincy had it.
Let's see the officials. Everybody piled up, and let's see.
If North got it, boy, they stole it.
Quincy player.
Is it a Quincy
comes
player?
Out. They say touchdown.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho. I don't know. I couldn't tell one.
I don't know. John Nicholson is going to have to sort that one out for us as to who gets the touchdown, because it looked like it was a Quincy player that came up with us. John, you're right down in that sideline. Maybe it can be our eyes. Who has the touchdown?
Well, I don't know who had the ball and who they're going to credit the touchdown. The play that I saw when the ball came loose, the first one on top of it was Robbie Kane from Quincy, and how he lost it after that, I don't know, because he was in a heck of a pileup.
Yeah. All right, John, if you'd see if you can get a word from one of the Zebras down there, the phantom touchdown, but it is 20-0 North Quincy. I thought Quincy had the ball, but the officials say otherwise, and now North is going to go for the 2 points. Josh Gott gets the handoff, and he is denied the 2-point conversion. So it is 20-0. North Quincy with the lead. Will take a 30-second timeout and then be back with more. John Nicholson, microphone in hand. Who do we have that scored the touchdown?
It was Sean Skane that scored the touchdown, Charlie. They ruled that he fumbled and recovered his own fumble, and he will get credit for it.
Wow.
All right, thank you very much, John. If I were Robbie Kane, I'd be demanding a recount right now because it looked like Quincy came up with the ball. Quincy player came out of the pile holding the ball, and yet they called a touchdown for North Quincy, but it's 20-0, and now Quincy really in a hole as the Presidents now need 20 points to tie the game. Higgins kicks it off, and he kicks it up short. Quincy will fall on it at the 35-yard line, and the Presidents will have 9:18 on the clock left and trailing by a 20-0 score.
Well, that was a good move by North. They kicked a squib kick right down the middle, right down to about the 35-yard line, 40-yard line. Kept it in the slot, and so Quincy couldn't run it back, and so now Quincy's starting right at about the 35, I think it is, Charlie, isn't it?
Yep.
And right in the middle of the slop, so that was a smart move.
North Quincy looking for time. Earl Metzler, defensive coordinator, asking, and they do get time. So 9:18 to go in the football game, a 20-0 North Quincy lead. North Quincy has already qualified for the postseason tournament, the postseason playoff game. They used to call it the Super Bowl when you had two teams in each division.
Yeah, on that touchdown, Sean Skane, where I was in the end zone, he fumbled the ball and he came back down on it. And what happened is he fell on it, and then Morrow pulled the ball out of his hands. That's why Quincy was all excited that they got the ball. But Sean Skane gets credit for the touchdown. That makes the score 20-0 North Quincy over Quincy. We got about 9:18 to go in this ball game, and North Quincy's 9:18 away from a 10-0 season.
Will be there, and we'll bring the game to you live on WJDA Radio, and Channel 3 in Quincy will be there to tape the game, and they will be showing it later on. So the playoff game will be broadcast and telecast. Now Kane gets a pass from Bartlett as he's trying to turn the corner. Here's a penalty flag thrown, and he is taken down at the 32-yard line. Dave Pacino with the stop, and we're going to have a call. I'm sure, Tom, it's either a clip or ineligible man downfield or something.
Clip on Quincy. As he turned around and came back over here, one of the Quincy people behind him threw a clip on one of the North Quincy players pursuing Kane. So that's why they got that penalty.
So this will be marched off against Quincy, and the Presidents right now just not getting breaks or anything else their way, as I'm going to want to watch the replay. I would swear that ball was recovered by Quincy in the end zone.
I thought so too, but you know, when they pile it up, that's where great thievery takes part.
So
and a lot of pulling and shoving on down that bottom of that pile.
So it is first down and about 2 miles now, 1st and 25 Under 9 minutes to go in the football game. 20-0, North leading. Bartlett from the shotgun takes the snap. Here comes the rush, gets it away out to one of his backs to the right side, 20, 25 to the 30, and he is bumped out of bounds, fumbled the football, but he was well out of bounds as Noel DeBona, the man that caught the pass, and he got it back to the 35-yard line, picked up 15 yards, so took the penalty yardage away, so now they're back to the original line of scrimmage, and it will be... or no, they're still 5 yards short. They picked up 10, so it'll be 2nd and 15 for the Quincy Presidents, who trail by 20 in this football game. Clock stopped on that last play, out of bounds. Bartlett again in the shotgun. Gets a low snap, fields it well, pump fakes once now, looking long, has DeBona complete at the 44-yard line. First down.
Beautiful
for
pass.
Quincy. Noel DeBona with a nice post pattern right over the middle as Quincy with a big play.
Boy, I'll give Bartlett credit on that. He had to just hang that ball on his hand. He didn't even get a grip on it, but he threw it almost sidearm. But he, as you say, he got DeBona on a beautiful post pattern all by himself, and he laid that ball right in there, even in the dents of the mud out there. Great job by both people.
First down and 10 for Quincy. Man in motion. Bartlett again from the shotgun. Looking long. Has a man, and he overthrows him right off his fingertips at the 15-yard line. Again was Noel DeBona. As it went right off his fingers, he found a seam right down the middle and couldn't hang on to the ball and slid for about 5 yards. You can see the mark in the grass as he left his feet at the 20 and slid all the way to the 15-yard line.
Well, certainly if that ball had been 6 inches shorter, he would have had it, and he probably would have gone in for a touchdown. So, give this Quincy team credit, boy. They're coming right back at you.
8:22 to go in the game. 20-0. North Quincy with the lead, trying to cap an undefeated season. Two receivers to the right. Bartlett rolling to the right. Reinhardt chasing them. He throws it out, a screen pass, and it is complete to, I believe, Bogan. And Bogan lost his footing behind the line of scrimmage and will lose a couple of yards. Now it'll be 3rd and 12 for Quincy, as the footing, even on the grassy parts of the stadium turf, is just miserable.
Certainly is. It's really getting to be a quagmire out here. It's a wonder they can even stand up right about now. And but they're both doing a great job considering what they're up against.
3rd and 11. Sova splits wide to the left. Becane to the right. Wing Clifford goes in motion to the right, and Bartlett has a problem with the ball as the ball was centered and he fumbled it, never got the handle from Mark Nutley, and he had to fall on it. So now it'll be 4th down, loss of a yard, 4th and 12 for Quincy at the North Quincy 47-yard line. Tom, how different the face of this game would be if Quincy had taken the ball as they moved down with the second half kickoff and had taken it in and scored. We could have had a 14-6, 14-7, 14-8, different complexion. Quincy has taken a timeout, so with 7:02 to go in the game, we'll take a 30-second timeout with our score. North Quincy 20, Quincy nothing. And 12 for Quincy. The Presidents taking a timeout. Jack Raymer pacing up and down, looking down at the muddy field. It has been a long morning for him, as just about everything that he has tried has not worked.
Yeah, well, Jack, you know, he's had a tough season. Things just haven't turned out right, but, you know, he still hangs in there. He still doesn't get down. He keeps his kids up. He's done a terrific job, and he's trying to pick something out of the hat here to do, and you know, he just inspires these kids tremendously out here.
Clifford in motion, quarterback pass, and it is complete, but they're short of a first down. Sova catches it. Shea on the coverage at the 38-yard line, but he is well short of the first down. So North Quincy will go on offense 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. And the starters coming out for North Quincy, 6:48. You're up by 20 points, and I'm sure in the back of Ken McPhee's mind, he's thinking, I hope nobody else gets hurt the rest of the way here because we've got another game.
Yeah, well, they've been pretty lucky outside of Knee's injury. He was injured earlier in the season with his shoulder, now his ankle. But outside of that, North has stayed pretty injury-free, so let's hope it keeps up.
Sinclair and Skane in the backfield. And the give is to Skane. Skane with some yardage, 45, and he slides forward to about the 48-yard line. And we'll see where they mark it. They give him a first down. Yep. It's very hard to tell because you slide about 3 or 4 yards.
Give the officials credit out here. They're doing a heck of a job today. A game like this is not easy to officiate, and especially the head linesman, the field judge putting that ball down and spotting it correctly. I think they've done a good job today, Charlie. We're usually pretty critical of officials, but these guys are excellent today, and they're mature officials, as we said earlier. They just let the kids play football. So right now, they just handled this game beautifully.
Mike Cavanaugh hurt for Quincy, and he is limping off the field with assistance. We have an update from Brockton. Brockton has taken a 15-14 lead, 15-14 over the Weymouth Wildcats in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for North Quincy. The ball at their own 48-yard line, 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Higgins claps his hands, now under center. Master Giacomo, the center, fumbles the football, and Higgins recovers it. As, again, it has got to be so difficult. Tom, you were in that situation. I know you played center for North Quincy High School, and I'm sure you played in games like this. And no matter what you do, that has to be the most difficult thing, just that simple exchange with the quarterback.
Sure. Well, it's tough. Anytime you handle a wet football, whether it be just the exchange to the quarterback. Of course, the old days we had the single wing. You had a spiral up back 5 yards. It was even tougher. But single and double wing, and then of course I also played on the tee. But the thing that really drives a center crazy in a game like this is when they go back to punt, and you've got to get that ball dry, and you've got to center that ball 20 yards and put it right in the kicker's hands. So you know, it's tough all around. It's really, but that's football, and that's the fun the kids have, and I'm sure they're enjoying it out there.
Greg Burke in the game as the wingback. Skane gets the handoff. He is hit at the line and taken down for a loss as Quincy just came busting through, and
I don't know who that was. It was a left tackle. It was a left tackle, and but he just busted through. Nobody took him, and he just wrapped Skane, and he just grabbed around the waist and threw him down. That Quincy team is still
I think it was Steve Fernald.
Fernald, yeah. Well, he's had a bad shoulder, too.
2 bad shoulders.
Yeah,
and he has been a profile in courage for this Quincy squad this year, as he has played with bad shoulders. He's going to have surgery on both of them at the end of the season. As Coach Raymer said in our pregame interview, he said they're going to have someone cut the turkey for him.
Yeah, well, this kid has come back and play in this game. I'm sure he's excited about it, and by gosh, he's played one heck of a game out there today. So he's had a tough season, but he's ended it up on a great note out here, and all that Quincy line has played tremendous today. They bent through the year, and they made some mistakes, but I think this is the best ball game they played this year, and that's what the whole team was out to do, play a good ball game against a really super North Quincy team, both offensively and defensively.
Third down, Dan Duncan has moved into the quarterback and new left side of the offensive line, and there's a fumble, and it's recovered by North Quincy. So Coach Ken McPhee getting some of his second teamers in there, and now they'll come back. The first team will come back because North Quincy will have to punt this one away, and short of Sean Nee's injury, North Quincy right now looks as if they have no other injuries.
Well, Master Giacomo now has got to really get that ball. He's got it right in the slop, and Higgins will be back about 20 yards, so he's got to come up with that snap. And you notice how I'm pronouncing that name much better, Charlie. It's taken me all year to get it down, but I'm doing very well.
You're doing very well with it.
I just call him Nick, really.
All right, and he gets it back to Higgins very well, who bounds this one off. Kane watches it and fumbles it, but picks it up at the 25, east of the 30 to the 32-yard line, and we're going to have a late hit call against one of the North Quincy players who came in, and he is immediately, Coach Ken McPhee is in the player's face and not pleased at that late hit, and that's the thing about the Quincy and North Quincy people. They will talk to their players, and it was an obvious foul, and Coach Ken McPhee talking to that youngster right now.
Well, he's blasting them out, but of course that hit like that was awful quick. It was a late hit, just on the verge of it, but it's not done with any really malice.
No.
They're just so anxious and can fly in, and the kid goes down quick, and you hit him, and there's nothing dirty about it. It's just maybe a half over exuberance and half having your body under control. But if you're a football player, you're supposed to remember those things. But these are only high school kids. They're not professionals.
Quincy, first down and 10. Some new linemen in there for Quincy, and we get a fumble on the snap, and Quincy recovers the ball, and it will be second down as Coach Jack Raymer getting some backup people. Greg DeBona in the game, Mike Gardner in the football game. We're calling these names because we can read the numbers, because they're clean jerseys.
After two plays, you won't.
So that's why we're calling them now. Jason Presenti in the ball game.
Brian Whalen, North, I guess.
Two receivers complete. Past the Kane, 45 east of the 50. Breaking tackles and is bumped out of bounds at about the 49-yard line over on the far side. Some fresh jerseys coming in for North Quincy. See George Wirtz coming into the football game. Steve Rain. Let's see. Who else?
William Nutter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nutter, Nathan Gott, Bill Dugas coming in.
Yep.
And let's see, we can. Steve Rain, I think we mentioned him coming in, is Glenn Peterson, a sophomore for North Quincy.
Joe Renzi, 60 for Quincy. I think a tackle, too. I don't know if we mentioned him.
John Austin for Quincy at tight end. Pass play complete to Austin. To the 40 and inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line. So Mr. Austin gets the dirty jersey very quickly as he lined up tight on the left side and caught Mike Bartlett's pass over the middle.
I wonder if he's one of the Austin family that had 2 or 3 quarterbacks here at Quincy. I had Dave, who wanted to be all-Canadian up in the St. Francis Xavier up in Canada, and his other brother was just this year. Steve.
Yep.
Set all kinds of scoring records over at Boston State College, the top passers in the country, and I think they had another brother too. So I don't know if this is the 4th one coming up, but we're all great athletes at Quincy High School.
3:22 to go in the football game. It is 20-0. North Quincy will come away with an undefeated season. They will go 10-0 and will be playing a week from Saturday, 10:30 game, Boston University's Nickerson Field. And it will either be Arlington or Xaverian that North Quincy will play.
I think it will be almost definitely Arlington, Charlie, from what I've read in the paper and from what I've heard.
Bartlett pump fakes once, throws it long, and it is incomplete down at the 5-yard line, intended for Jason Percenti, but a little bit over. That's the best thrown pass that Bartlett has thrown today, as he really let the air out of that one.
He just laying it. He's not gripping it. He's just laying it on his hand and letting it go. So he's doing a marvelous job. And Percenti, big, tall, lanky youngster over there, big, long strides. Looked pretty good going out for that ball. He beat the secondary, but just couldn't pull it in.
Well, Percenti lines up wide to the right. He's a senior, so playing in his last Thanksgiving Day game. And now Quincy setting up a screen. It is complete to the 31-yard line. And down at the 31-yard line. And looks like Dave Bogan, I think.
Well, mentioned Dave Bogan, another senior playing today. Played for 3 years. Of course, his brother ahead of him was a great ball player. He's played for the last 2 years, a starter. Great defensive ball player, big plunging fullback, and he's playing in his last game today and putting it all out there.
Bartlett back to pass once again, throwing it, and incomplete down at the 10-yard line to the right is Percenti, the intended receiver. And it'll set up a 4th down, 2:33 to go in this one. Coach Ken McPhee looking back at his bench. Some of the freshmen and sophomore players have come out of the stands congratulating the upperclassmen on this game.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody, all the seniors get in there. That's one thing you want to do as a coach, whether you're winning or losing, unless it's really close, to get all
4th
your
down,
seniors in there.
Bartlett with a pass incomplete to the 15-yard line on the coverage for North Quincy. It was Mike McGregor. Pass intended for Debana, I believe. And now North Quincy will take over on downs, 1st and 10. And a lot of very clean uniforms coming in for both sides now, as Coach Jack Raymer on the far side getting his frontline people out, getting some backups in there to play, and Ken McPhee doing the same thing for North Quincy. As Quincy is going to call a timeout with 2:27 to go in the game. It is North 20, Quincy nothing, back in 30 seconds. Back here at the stadium, we have an update. 21-14 Brockton taking on Weymouth today, and they are winning. And Xaverian is beating their opponent, and so I think it will be Arlington against North Quincy. Yeah. Sean Dolbear has moved in at quarterback for North Quincy. He is a sophomore, 5'8", 155 pounds, and he fumbles the snap from his center. And let's see, Quincy has the ball as they recover the ball, and it'll be Quincy 1st down at the 26-yard line with 2:22 to go in the football game, and a 20-0 lead. And let's go down to John Nicholson. John?
Well, Charlie, I don't know if you saw it, but Coach Kenny McPhee just took a bath in Gatorade for the 2nd time this year. Kenny is smiling. No, he's wet. He was wet anyway, but now he's a little sticky, but he's a one happy fella. And it's really nice to see down here as they try to get all of the players into the game so that some of those nice, clean uniforms get dirty in this real big game.
All right, John, and We'll maybe send it down to you a time or two before the game ends. Maybe you can talk to a player or two. And there's a pass play down to about the 5-yard line, incomplete. Intended receiver was Jason Crosby. Coverage by Jeremy Gott for the North Quincy Red Raiders. It'll be second down, 2:15 to go in this football game, as the North Quincy players congratulating themselves, shaking hands, and just doing everything. As Bartlett looking once again, pass almost intercepted, and it's incomplete, and it will be third down and 10 for the Quincy Presidents, who are trying to avoid the shutout to get on the scoreboard. Quincy has played one whale of a game today. The scoreboard maybe doesn't indicate it, 20-0, but they have been in this football game. As Bartlett back to pass, throws it out, incomplete once again, down to about the 10-yard line. And now it'll be fourth down for Quincy, and they'll have one more shot at it.
Well, he's having trouble getting rid of that ball. He's even with some of the second team in there, he's getting a lot of pressure, and of course that ball is so slippery. He's just laying it up for grabs.
Liam Higgins is down there with John Nicholson. If you'll hold him there, we'll call the play, John, and then you can get a word with Liam Higgins, the quarterback, as Quincy hands it off. We've got a penalty flag, so John, take it away.
Liam, you got a couple of minutes left to go, but you're going to a Super Bowl. How do you feel?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's a great feeling knowing that we get to play another week. You know, I'd hate to be turning in the pads today after the game, but at least we got another week.
They gave you a pretty good ball game today, didn't they?
Yeah, they the record doesn't it doesn't show for their team, because they're a much tougher team. They hit almost as hard as anybody we played, but we got the breaks, and we outplayed them, but they played tough.
Congratulations. Good luck next Saturday. All right, Charlie, back up to the booth.
Okay, thank you, John. And if you get any more players, just give us a wave, and we'll get you right on. It's 4th and 15. The penalty was against Quincy. Line of scrimmage, the 31, and they hand it off straight ahead for just a couple of yards. So North Quincy will take over on downs as Jeff Cassetta with a couple of yards. So North Quincy will go on offense, first down and 10 with a minute 53, and I would assume that the next minute and 53 will go rather quickly, as Quincy will not take any timeouts. And we have yet to see the appearance of the city championship trophy. It'll stay
something down here.
It'll stay in North Quincy hands for another year. Bill Walker down on the field, the athletic director.
There it is right here.
Oh, there it is. It's being held there. And one play run up to the 28-yard line, and it'll be second down for North Quincy. And there's a happy principal down on the sidelines with John.
What's his name? Peter Chisholm? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, we've got Peter Chisholm here, Charlie, the principal of North Quincy High School. A smile on his face, a happy man this morning.
Ready to light up the victory cigar. I think we have it now. We've a very good team out there. Great offensively and unbelievable defensively. We're getting ready for the next one. I guess it's against Arlington a week from Saturday. But right now, this is the big one. That's all we care about, is winning the city championship right now. Worry about the Super Bowl later on. Very proud of the coaches and the young men today.
Thank you very much, Principal Peter Chisholm of North Quincy High School. Charlie?
Taught him everything he knows. Yes, indeed. All right, another play run clock with under a minute to go in this football game, and the whooping it up and celebration continues as John Nicholson looking, I think he's got Earl Metzler, defensive coordinator down there. John?
Yeah, Charlie, we do have Earl Metzler, and you've called a great game this morning, and you've got to be feeling pretty happy about now.
Oh, thank you. I'm ecstatic. I can't tell you. I can't even put it into words. 2 zeros in 2 years. And really right here in the heart for Tommy Gilmartin and Billy Deegan. That's where we've been playing from all year, right from the heart for those two fellas.
That was a fine tribute that you had at the beginning of the game, and I've got to make a remark about your white satin jacket. You look like you've played in this game, Earl.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be worthy of playing this game. I'm not from Quincy, but boy, I love being part of it. I'll tell you.
Thank you very much for taking time to chat with us. Charlie?
All right, John, thank you much. And Tom?
Yeah, I'd like to, of course, Earl Metzler's a defensive coach, and I think we're so happy for Ken. But let's give credit where credit's due. Kenny's done a marvelous job, and so has an Earl on the defense. But they got a couple other assistant coach, Tom Carter, offensive coach, works with the JVs.
Okay,
and Pete
Tom,
Grizzle.
let's send it down to
okay.
Johnny's right next to
got
Ken
one.
McPhee.
Yeah.
So let's get the celebration. Here it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Coach McPhee, you're smiling, you're a happy man. Tell the people of the city of Quincy what you're thinking.
Unbelievable. You know, you work all your life, and you get a group of kids like this, it's unbelievable. You know, these kids they're just unbelievable. It's beyond words. I'm very happy for the kids. I'm so happy for the kids. The kids went out and did it, and they're the ones that deserve this. My coaches were super. My JV coaches are the ones that are responsible for a lot of what you saw on this field today. My defensive coordinator, Earl Metzer, did an unbelievable job. Tommy Carter, Peter Chisholm Jr., my freshman coaches, and Pete Zoya. Unbelievable. That's what it's all about. What can I tell you? I'm the happiest man The only one thing will make me happier right now, and that's to win the Super Bowl.
Look ahead to the Super Bowl.
One thing to say, Tommy Martin, I know you're up there. Billy Deegan, I know you're up there, and we love you both.
All right, there is a happy Coach Ken McPhee of the North Quincy Red Raiders. And Charlie, I can barely hear you in my ear. There's so much noise down here, but maybe if you send me some hand signals, I'm going to try to get Jackie Raymer if I can.
Okay, thank you, John. Jack is over, and he is going through the line, shaking the hands. John, it's yours.
Okay, Charlie, we've got Pete Zoya here, and we're standing here in the mud at center field, and Mr. North Quincy, you've got to be feeling pretty happy this morning.
Oh, I certainly am, and these kids will be certainly happy too. They'll never forget playing in the mud. It's really a wonderful experience. I played the first 3 years for North. We never lost at Quincy. We played a lot of games in the mud too, and boy, we played a great game today. Quincy tried as hard as they could, and they should be commended too for the way they played.
All right, good luck, Coach. Thank you very much. And Charlie, I'm still, I see Coach Raymer now. I'm going to make my way over to him, so perhaps I can keep it down here if I can keep my footing. Talking about slip sliding away.
All right, John. It's all yours down there.
All right, thank you, Charlie. And we've got Jack Raymer here. And Jackie, your thoughts quickly, please.
Well, we got beat up on the line of scrimmage today, and I give credit to North. They drove the ball and they had to. We weren't able to get much of an offensive running game going, which I thought we would, but we just weren't. And they had the power off the line today, and then they just drove us back. And second half, we thought we drove down, we come back, but we got a third down plays killed us. There were 3 of them in a row that the 3rd and 10, and if we could have stopped, we might have got something back. But hey, they're a great team. That's why they're going to the Super Bowl. They beat us on the line of scrimmage today, and that's where the thing was. The passing game, we tried to throw a bit. As you can see, John, it's a little mucky up here, but hey, they did the job, and I'm proud of our kids. They hung in there. Disappointing year, but it's their turkey today, and we wish them well next week in the Super Bowl.
Jack, you said when you came back after halftime that that possession would be key. You almost brought it in.
Well, we did. I thought he had the ball on the goal line. He dropped the ball, and then that's a real morale loser, I guess. You know, I mean, if we could have taken it in there, it was a brand new ball game, and then we let up 3 big plays. So, you know, it was just it's their day. We just didn't do it today. So.
Jack, thank you very much for taking time to talk with us, and good luck, and I'm sure you'll be down at the Super Bowl.
I'll be there. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Charlie, Tom up in the booth. All right.
All right, thank you very much, Jack Raymer. And Robbie Kane just passed us by here a moment ago, and boy, I've been watching this kid all morning, Charlie. He's been playing offense and defense. He's been playing with his heart and with everything he had, and I'm going to try to get a word with Robbie, the 2-way player, an outstanding player for the Quincy Presidents this morning, and see if we can grab a
Yep, he's right there.
Okay, we're right here at the end of the football game. It's 20-0. That was the final score. 10-0. That's what North Quincy went for. Big goose egg today on the board. That's their 3rd shutout for the football team this year. They got 1 more week to go. That is the Super Bowl next week. But a little bit about this game. The way they scored, no scoring in the first quarter, was real bad footing. until they came into the north ends of the football field, and what happened was a great pass to Reinhardt, the tight end, 22 yards. It brought it to the 10. 2 quick runs by St. Clair, and Skahan brought it to the 1, and Higgins went in for the touchdown, 6-0. They called a quick timeout before the 2-point conversion. They saw something different. They gave it to St. Clair up the middle, untouched, and it made it 8-0. Then coming back up the field, we had another great run by Skahan. Skahan ran it in the end zone that made it 14-0. And then in the third quarter, another touchdown was scored by Skahan. He dropped the ball into the end zone, but jumped on his own fumble. There was a scramble for it, but he came up with it, and that made the score 20-0. First downs category, North Quincy ended up with 13 to 8 of Quincy. A great football game. The line, if you heard Jack Raymer call today, the line was told the story. North Quincy beat him up on the line, and that's what happened. 20-0 the score. Like I said, next week we got one more week of football for you. Hopefully brought to you by Continental Cable. It'll be at Boston University Field, where the North Quincy Red Raiders, 10-0, will go against an opponent that we'll know later on today, either Severian St. John's, Arlington, or Waltham. That'll be happening next week. We're going to shoot it back up to the field and up to the booth where they got the presentation for today's trophy. This is Mike Tucker going back to Charlie Ross.
People working for him in the trenches and developing this team, North Quincy or any other team wouldn't be where they were today.
20-0 our final score as the North Quincy Red Raiders come away with the Thanksgiving Day football victory as they win their 26th in the series. It now stands Quincy 29, North 25, and there have been 5 ties in the series. And well, let's see, John is down there. I'm not sure if he's got something or not, so well, let's get John in the pile.
Okay, Charlie, thank you very much. We're going to talk to Kenny McPhee's dad, and you've got to be feeling pretty good. You've had a smile on your face since about the second quarter.
But this is the best I've ever had down there with Kenny. And Kenny's been with these teams for a long time. But this is the best team we've had yet.
Proud dad and a proud coach this morning.
Oh.
Charlie's man a few words, and he's having a little difficulty. He's very emotional this morning, as well he should be. Very proud of his son and very proud of the victory. I'm going to see if I can hold it down here for a second and talk to Bill Walker, the athletic director of the Quincy Public School System, and we'll just kind of walk up to him here. And you're on JDA, Mr. Walker. And good, thank you very much. Great game this morning.
They played fantastic. We would have loved to have a dry field, but Thanksgiving games are played on Thanksgiving. That's the way I look at it. And I played in a muddy game. My brother played in maybe the wettest game we ever had. This one comes close.
The field was in great condition at the beginning of the game, even though you've had 4 or 5 days of rain.
We worked hard to get the place the best we could. We thank our maintenance department, our park department. They work hard to try to get everything right for the kids. At 7 o'clock this morning, it was really ideal. At 9:45, it's too bad we started to get a little mist. The mist got heavy, but hey, I think the people were very, very pleased with the game. Both sides, Quincy and North Quincy, played a great game on a really tough field. And they showed well for both schools, and I'm very, very proud of them. Some of the young kids now that didn't get their jerseys dirty, getting them dirty right now, so they had fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and we'll see you at the Super Bowl, I'm sure. All right, Charlie, back up to you in the booth.
Okay, thank you, John. We'll take a 60-second timeout, and then, let's see. Well, I don't know, John is looking. I'll tell you, this is like the locker room at the World Series. He's looking for.
Getting everybody.
He's getting everybody down there. All right, John, it's yours once again.
All right, Charlie, and now we're going to talk with Linda Stice for a moment, a member of the school committee, and then we'll talk with Gene Creedon, the superintendent. Linda, exciting game this morning.
Well, it's the first Thanksgiving game I've ever been to. Where I grew up in Wisconsin, we don't have games on holidays, so I had never done this before. And it was just a beautiful, colorful, exciting day. I imagine when the weather is really good, it's even more beautiful. But they played very well, and it was an exciting game, and I loved it. I'll be here every single year. And it was a real honor to give the trophy to the kids from North Quincy High School. I didn't expect to play a role in this at all, so it was. I'm very, very glad I came.
Well, you picked a good first one, Linda, and I know you'll be back.
Oh, absolutely. I think I can't imagine why everybody didn't stay. It was worth it despite the rain. People got to watch it on television, I hope.
Well, it's being taped. It'll be broadcast tonight, so you can watch tonight and see yourself on TV.
Great. Okay. Well, I'm going to go home and take a bath, I think.
All right, Linda. Thank you very much. And Gene Creedon, the superintendent of schools here in the city of Quincy. Great ball game this morning.
Wonderful ball game. The best of tradition of what we've come to know over the years. The 60th anniversary of playing between North Quincy